Yeah, just call Busy Bee Doors, the local experts who have been in the business for many, many years, because they can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Honey, calling Busy Bee.
Good idea. Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, 35 years of experience, moving water from a dugout or well without electricity. Visit kellensolar.com to find out more about your livestock operation. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
On Roughriders, plunge right through that line. March the ball on down the field, a touchdown every time. Oh, Roughriders, fight on for your fame. Fight, fellows, fight, and we will win this game. Yeah!
There it is, right there. It's Monday. The Riders are 8-1. It's the Sports Cage. We're here for 3 hours. How are you doing out there, Saskatchewan? Curtis is with me in the pocket today. Maz is going to join in a bit. Thanks for making time. Whatever if you're listening on 620 CKRM, the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, or maybe through the app in a crystal clear signal that's coming in there, or if you're watching on YouTube. Hello. Thank you very much for subscribing, hitting the like button. Curtis always appreciates that. 3 hours of athletic talk today. We're going to do lots with the Riders, of course, into 8-1. How about those Regina Red Sox? Winning the ship, as the kids say. Championship. They brought it home. Brady by MVP from Regina. He's now cruising to university. He's going to join us also on the show. Scott Schultz, Rider legend, coming on the coach's show. Josh Donelly in hour 2, offensive assistant with the Riders. And then Darian Durant in hour 3. A whole lot more in there. We always want you to participate on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, 936-6262. You can also call in, too, if you want. Curtis is standing by. Prairie Land Rentals, deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street, and they can rent you anything from a front-end loader to a garden spade. Western Pizza is where the guests come in on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings, all the Greek favorites you love. And then our sports stickers are for Steelcraft Doors Regina, Extreme Hockey and Sport in Regina, and Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. But Kellen Solar brings it to you on Monday. And Monday's been an absolute buzzsaw over the last couple months. Curtis shows me the numbers. A lot of people tune in, watch, chime in, as they say, on Mondays. So, floor is yours, people. Let's go. It's also the week of the Baseball Canada Men's National Championship starting on the 21st. I think that would be Wednesday or Thursday. We have tickets to give away, too. If you want to go watch baseball, we're going to be pumping that all week. We're supposed to be live at Curry Field Thursday and Friday. So if you're stopping by, maybe you're a beer garden, float by there, maybe food's going to be on point. Watch a little hardball. We're one of the sponsors, proud to be sponsoring the Baseball Canada Men's Championship coming up this week. Maz is with me today. You did a hell of a job last week. I tuned in. I was up in Waskesiu watching the boy in the junior lobstick, watching all the kids. I got to tell you, I am a D-gen. There were a couple times that me and a couple of the dads were putting back a few pints going, we could maybe wager on this hole here, I know they're kids, but I'll take my kid to go. I bet you he goes up and down from the sand for $5. but we didn't do it. We didn't quite push it to gambling on our own kids on the golf course.
Not the most shocking revelation from a week of vacation. That wouldn't be, if you were to come out and say that was true, that wouldn't be the most shocking thing I've heard come out of your mouth before after you've been away for a week. So how did he do? How did Roman do in golf? Like, is there something there? Like, is this NIL golf scholarship money in a couple of years?
No.
Like, what's happening?
No, hits it hard, loves to play, lots of fun. All the kids, right? You get out there, and the thing about match play, kids match play golf. If you ever played match play golf, you can give your opponent a putt. Like if your opponent's putting, if you're watching the stream, if they got like a 6-inch putt for it, you can just give it to them, and then you go to the next hole, right? You just whatever. These kids, they're putting in everything. They're tight-lipped. There is no gimmies. And I'm like, he was hanging on the lip. You could just give that to him. He goes, I know. But I'm like, okay, whatever your own mental warfare is with you and the other 13, 14, 15-year-olds. But it was a lot of fun. Great. Course is in unreal shape up there. No smoke. The rain really helped. And you got more self-control than I do in life because you don't really drink anymore. I guzzle. And it was a week of just, you know what? I don't give a rip. I went to the bakery. If anyone's been up in Waskesiu, you know what I'm talking about. Day drank. Just really escaped. Really, really took it all in.
Well, when you say I don't drink anymore, by choice, it wasn't a problem. It's not like I've had to check in and out of places because it was just like to dial it down. It's funny. You start having kids. You always got to be on. You're driving somewhere. You may have to drive somewhere. There's just no time. There is just no time. You've got to always be on. And then the price, I remember, so my mother-in-law's, I'll take it back to the surprise birthday party. I'm out trying to buy liquor, and I haven't been in a liquor store in a long time. I'll get some cheap wine for my wife every once in a while. I'm like, wow, you need a small personal finance team to get 48 beer these days. That is not. The days of getting 15 beer for $15 are long gone.
Yeah. I remember 24 for 24 when that was a thing, and the boys would be like rolling to like a long weekend. It's like, what'd you get? 24 for 24. Oh, so yeah, you haven't like, did you go in and did you like ask for something that's been discontinued for a year? Like, did you go in asking for Carling O'Keefe's or anything?
No, I was just roaming around. I'm like, I guess I'm going to pay 30, I think it was $37 for 15 Coors Light. And I'm like, because that was on the list. We needed some Coors Light to go along with the Miller Light and the Pilsner that we had for the cooler. And I'm like, that's market price these days. I'm going to make sure that I am fulfilling my husbandly duties and getting what's on the list. And we keep trucking.
Speaking of Pilsners, would have been a ton drank Saturday in the heat, the wind, at Mosaic Stadium, watching the Riders get all diabolical on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And let's go 29-9. The way the game starts, though, Maz, I don't know. You always, to your credit, you go deeper. Like you're like, yeah, you watch and you're picking out guys and all that, where I'm kind of more watching the scheme of things and like, okay, yeah, and I thought early when Hamilton had a chance to maybe go for it on the 3-yard line, and they elected for the field goal to go. I get it. You got to get points. You got to get points when you get points. You're in hostile territory. You're playing what is said to be the best team in the league. You've stopped, and now you've ran, and you've got to the 3-yard line. Gamble, punch, go for it. 3 might help you, but let's remember it's the CFL too. The chances of that 3 points, if you can't battle back in 3 quarters from 3 points, it's not a good look. So that was the one thing right off the start that I was like respecting the Roughriders defense.
Mm-hmm. I thought after the first quarter, once the Riders got home once and the pressure came through on Bo Levi Mitchell, the next 3 quarters, it was just domination and they put on a clinic. They made Hamilton look like Hamilton week 1 and 2, confused. They didn't know what they're doing. Bo was running around. They had no answer for the pressure, and the Riders were dictating the Hamilton mistakes.
Yep.
Because how many sacks did we get? Was it 5? Was it 6? We were dominant, and it took it away, and they were trying to run the ball, and I don't know why. There's been a lot of games, but when Bo's playing his best football, Bo doesn't get touched. Well, Bo didn't have a chance to be comfortable from quarters 2, 3, and 4. To me, the game was put away on this fumble right here, right with 4 seconds left. It was 16. Well, there's 2 plays. When they go down and they throw the interception to Mulligan, yes, I know his name is Roland Milligan, but Charleston Hughes calls him Mulligan. So no points there, boom. And then when they kick the long field goal, I'm like, it's game over. Hamilton doesn't have an answer. They have to do everything right. And the way that Trevor Harris was just hitting guys wide open, and the game that Mueller called, and what was it on Jonathan Moxey after he jumped 2 routes and then they did the in and up?
Oh, I
because he
love
bid
that
on
move.
it.
Love that play.
Yeah. No, I got to. Hey, you know what? Like, they're talking about dominant defense. Mark Mueller. Hey, listen, ever since we had you on the show a few weeks ago, just what he is doing and how he's seeing it. And obviously, Trevor is executing with everything that Mueller is calling, but he's been next level elite. You talk about this team or whatever, there's some kind of unsung heroes. Mueller, I would say, is kind of one of them. Like, from last year to this year, where his game has evolved to and how he's calling things. How does Dante Myers get always that open? But he is. That's 8 30-yard receptions now he has on the season. Wow.
Okay. So much to get to. Text lines already buzzing. 936-6262. Let us know what you're thinking. Moxie? Wasn't it Moxie? Because keep in mind, I'm up north, so I'm watching the game on TV, listening to Luke and Dave. Moxie gets all cocky in that first stop, and he jumps up on the Tiger Cats bench, and he's giving it to the fans. I tell my kids, do not, especially early in the game, you have no idea how this game's going to go. I love it. Right up his you-know-what at the end of the game. Hey, how come you're not chatting it? How come you're not chirping anymore? I hope people that were on that sideline from the Riders throughout, after about 8, you've been with me, after 8 or 9 or 10 Pilsners, I can verbally joust with the best of them. And I would have been all over him all game to the point that he wanted to borrow a firearm and track me down. I hope people really gave it to him, because there's 2 things I hate worse: getting cocky way too early in a game or early in a season when it can bite you in the arse later. The second thing is doing celebratory dances or anything that somebody else does. And I know somebody from the Riders did the gritty. That's what it's called, right, Curtis? The young kids, the gritty. Come up with something on your own. Just like
Robustelli did
the feed me thing that people do, that Ezekiel Elliott made popular.
Yeah.
Come up with your own thing. Like that.
Yeah, here it is. It's Robustelli, and he's going to do the gritty.
And I get it's a kid singing, it's a kid's dancing. I'm just like, Joe, you got moves. You got some moves. Pull out some of them college moves. Dancing's fine. That's just, but the getting cocky early in a game. Oh, Moxie, you pigeon. You pidge.
But if you are listening, and trust me, and we'll get to this, the whole kicking situation, and I know that was a big focus on the postgame show, and I disagree with our postgame show and our panel, because everything's fine. No, you tell me, if we go to Calgary this week and it comes down to a field goal, if we don't win the game because of that, everybody who had a different opinion on Saturday, will you change your mind? You probably will, because we haven't had to rely on it all year, because we've either won by so much. It hasn't come to bite us, but you can't tell me that we can go through another 10 weeks of a football season where our kicking game isn't going to come into play.
We're going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about it with Schultz, who's coming up here after the break. We've already got a few text messages on that. Brett Lawther, that will read. We'll get into it. We're here for 3 hours. It's a lot of fun. I'm now craving baking goods because it's about that time of the day, because I've been spending it up north all. I'm just like, I'm starving. It's 3:20 in the afternoon. How much did I eat last week? And you can make fat jokes. Go ahead, Maz. I know you like to do that. Schultz is standing by. Let's get into it with him. It's the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com. We're always on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the Calgary Stampeders. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Dunk and Tegan Whitco's at 2. The pregame show's at 4. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 5. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by Proline Gold Fungicide, Redhead Equipment, Sask Lotteries, and Nelson Homes. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
Did you know over 1.3 million homeowners call on Reliance for their water heater needs? With over 140,000 five-star online reviews and over 60 years experience, you could say Reliance Heath are water heater experts. Switch to Reliance Heath today. They'll give you $200 plus standard installation is included. For all your hot water needs,
Call on Reliance.
visit waterheaterrentals.com for details. Terms and conditions apply.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
Hey, let's hit up Pump Jack's Cathedral.
Pump? You talking about my basketball shoes?
No, Pump Jack's Cathedral.
Who?
Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. They're open now. They've got a large selection of local draft and food and drink specials. Kids are allowed until 8. There's live entertainment every weekend.
Let's go. I'm pumped.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
Get ready to rock with 2 nights of incredible Canadian music. Shake the Lake Regina, presented by Brand, is August 22nd and 23rd, featuring the Headstones. Turn up the volume for Default. Finger 11. And many more. Celebrate our nation's music in one epic weekend. Shake the Lake 2025. Get your tickets at connexusartcenter.ca. See you at the center.
This is the final day for the Harvard Media Summer Auction. Items are closing tonight. Get your last minute bids in harvardmediaauctions.com. Maybe you're somebody that likes to go out and eat or have a few drinks out. We get a $250 night out to District Brewing Company. That's up for bid. How about a $100 gift certificate from the Hangout here in Regina, or a $200 gift card from the Tap Brew Pub and Eatery? That's just a few examples. So if you're somebody that likes to go out, you're saving big on those items. Get your last minute bids in. Like I was saying, auction closes tonight. harvardmediaauctions.com.
Louis Dreyfus Yorkton, expanding to meet the canola needs of tomorrow. Once again, canola markets have been tossed into uncertain territory, but know that LDC is here for the long haul. The nearby months are filling fast, so call Louis Dreyfus today and ask about our very competitive basis levels and lock your canola in before space is gone. Canola delivery Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. LDC Yorkton, a name you know, a name you can trust. 1-877-782-8882 or ldcyorkton.com.
Come watch former pro and collegiate level players battle it out for the national championship. The Baseball Canada Men's National Championships are coming to Optimus Park in Curry Field. Get a full event pass for just $50 or grab a day pass for $20. Twilight games after 5 p.m. are only $10. Tickets are available at the gate. August 20th opening ceremonies and Home Run Derby are completely free. Bring a glove, these bats don't miss. The Baseball Canada Men's National Championships are coming to Optimus Park in Curry Field. See you at the park.
Sportscage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com, on our YouTube channel, and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports. 620 CKRM.
For Kellen Solar, anything you need solar, they're in Lumsden, Saskatchewan, and they're local. You can deal with them, whether it's for the livestock operation, the home, maybe the farm. Maz is with me. Curtis is in the pocket. Hey, Maz, Shake the Lake is coming up this weekend here in Regina. One of my favorite, probably in the last 20 years, for sure, Canadian bands, Dallas Smith and Default, or Default.
Yeah.
Like when I worked rock radio back in the day and Wasting My Time came out, I could still hit the post on that, I bet. Blindfolded. Like it was played everywhere. They play Friday night. We're going to have tickets to give away tomorrow on the Sportscage. Nice. I got word. I might just go through my favorite Default songs too, because I'm all by myself tomorrow. It'll be like a music trip down memory lane. They're good.
Default, not a good Canadian band. Then Dallas Smith has gone on to have a nice career as a country singer. Like he's the last 10, 15 years, he's been in the country space, spends a lot of time in Nashville. He's got some bangers. It's funny, speaking of music, while you were away last week, there was a lot of hype around the plans for the Pilsner Cup next year. Artwork was released, come to rave reviews. We found the guy that's going to do the prayer, the same guy that did the prayer for the NASCAR report's going to do the prayer before the football game. And then, because Oasis is on their 30-year reunion tour, and they're actually coming to North America, all my Instagram feed is Oasis clips. And they've got a song, which is perfect. This is going to be the theme song for the Pilsner Cup. Maybe Curtis can bring it up. It's called Cigarettes and Alcohol. And what they do, it's a good song. They do what's called the Posnum. And I'd never heard of this before until I found it on the weekend. Apparently, it's a move in English soccer where you turn around and you don't look at the field. And your back's to the players. So before they play this song, they tell everybody to turn around, they link arms, and they dance, but nobody looks at the stage. And the crowd goes crazy. It's a banger. That's the official theme song of Pilsner Cup.
I like the name of the song. I'm not a big Oasis fan. I think Oasis, Taco Bell, Pitbull, all overrated. Different, so many things. So I like the name of it. Let's not keep our guest waiting, though. Speaking of food, it's a great night for a little Western Pizza guest hotline. Joining us, Mr. Insurance, Scott Schultz, back on the program.
Hello.
Schultzy, you sit in section 123 for the games. How hot was it for you on Saturday?
It was perfect. I had some tickets given to me by a friend who shall remain nameless, but man, they were fantastic seats right above the tunnel. I took my brother-in-law and my niece and my daughter, and we had a great time. A little shaky there in the first quarter. We saw some zone coverages that got exposed, and I was kind of getting a little antsy, but man, did they roll back and dominate.
You talk about, them maybe playing a little bit of a soft zone and there's always the scripted plays too, right? On both sides. Like everything's scripted, right? What surprises you in the game as you go along?
The biggest thing that surprises me and I respect the most is, especially from my playing days, is the Riders seemingly, like, we're 8-1. That's consistent. But how they've won has not been consistent. They have switched plans. They have made adjustments. They have figured things out in the game, in the now. And I got goosebumps right now. Like when I see that, that's what draws me back to 2007. That's what draws me back to the trajectory where this team is headed.
Is that the sign of a good team or a championship team that is able to kind of put everything aside, be like, all right, left turn, we're doing this because this is what we have to do to win?
I don't know about the championship moniker there, but it's what good teams do. Like when you got a good team, it's the team that can figure things out, can do things on the fly, that has confidence to do those things. Bad teams, they're coquettish. They don't want to make changes. They want to stick with what they're doing. Those kinds of things where I think the Riders have all this confidence. They've got relatively good health. They've got great coaching, and they're confident hey, we're going to make this change. We're going to make this adjustment, and they believe in their guys to go out there and do it. And that's what I think the fan base is seeing.
Do you see any adjustments, maybe the first half of the game that the Riders make?
I like what you guys said. It's kind of like you come out, it's the first quarter, some stuff, how much of that is scripted? We have a plan, we want to go do this. And then, the defenses are doing the same thing. So it really is the ability to sit back and have your entire defensive playbook available to you, and then you're like, oh, they're doing this. Oh, we're gonna checkmate that. Oh, now they switched to this. Yeah. Here's what we're gonna do, and it's that confidence in their guys that they're able to switch through these defenses and figure things out.
So, Scott, when you played, every once in a while, somebody's got to go out there, make a play, and change the game. And it seemed as soon as the pressure got to Bo Levi and they got him down once, that's when it really, the floodgates opened. And he was flustered, and it seemed everything went out the window. The short passes, the long passes, the confidence. He was patting the ball, happy feet. And as a defender, to be the guy that starts the wave, that's got to be a good feeling, because Hamilton just was not the same team. They didn't look like a team that won 6 or 7 games on Saturday once the Riders started to make mistakes.
You know, Richie Hall, great defensive coordinator, lots of success in this league as a player and as a coach. He used to say, pressure either busts pipes or makes diamonds, right? And it's just that ability of these guys to I don't know. I just, their confidence is high. And I just think their culture, you can see it coming through. Like, they're not giving up on things. They're not sulking if they get a setback. They are going to the sideline. They are retooling, and they're like chomping at the bit to get back on the field and apply what fix they've got. So it's just super exciting to watch.
I'm curious to ask Darian about this later too, Maz. So if I forget, remind me. But Schultz, a lot of times, and it doesn't matter any sport, football, hockey, basketball, whatever, is if you got a coaching staff that seems to be all in, like they're all as one. There's not, we've seen it before where this coach won't get along with that coach, and there's just tension there. So the Riders obviously have that. Like, that is confident. And then you have the high IQ football players that are complementing it, isn't it? Is that correct, do you think?
I'm with it. Like I said, I'm still plugged into the team, but like I don't know exactly what they're thinking. I don't get to have any conversations, and I get to hear some things here and there. But from what I see, you look at what Mace is doing from his player experience, his coaching experience. It seems what he's allowing these guys to do is giving his coaches the autonomy to bring their talents and their skill level to the table. Now, I'm sure that when things need to be pulled back or things need to go in the direction that Mace wants them to go in, he certainly does that. But it just really seems that they've got the autonomy to really extract the explicit talents from these coaches. And then it's trickling down into the players. The confidence is built, and you're 8-1. Like, this is what is the beauty of sport. This is what makes guys excited and why we put so much time in.
Do we, as the average fan, not understand how special it is that Micah Johnson can still be playing football at a high level at the age he's at? Because it's not an easy game. Like, I look at him and I'm like, and same with Derek Moncrief from the Stamps. I'm like, are you guys 25? Because the seasons you're having, you would never know their age when you see the results they're getting.
I retired at 31, and you know, to see the success that guy is having is unbelievable. And then what I saw yesterday is, again, that defensive line unit working together. They're getting pressure. You had some old school sacks. Like, you saw defensive tackles coming off of blocks, and because it was bracketed so nicely on the edges, he's got nowhere to go, and it's right into his arms. All you got to do is tackle the guy. Beautiful sacks. I think we had 5 or 6 sacks for the game. It's just to see those guys that are veterans and they're healthy and they're clicking. You can really see the experience get kind of sprinkled in to what they're doing out there. Where, okay, they've got plays to do, they've got blitzes on, they're doing this, but it's those guys' experience that is allowing them to react and fill in and make the big plays that they're making.
What did you see defensively that the Riders did on Lawler, Smith, the whole crew there? I personally, I love Tavon Campbell. Like, I'm like, it's almost like Revis Island backed my Patriots that year. It's like, all right, let Revis play on anybody, and we'll figure it out from there. What do you see in there, Schultz?
You know what? I just see it as a defensive whole. Like, you know, you would go into a game and it's like, okay, what are they good at? Well, the quarterback can throw, he can spread the ball around, and they've got a decent running game. So what do you got to do? You got to shut down one of those phases. It doesn't matter which one, you got to shut down one. And it looks like what they've been able to do is find whatever strength the team is having, they attack it. And then when that team has to adjust or that team has to come off of the post and do something else, it's not as comfortable or relevant for them. And then we're making the big plays on defense. So it's spread around. I don't think there's any one group that is more special than the other out there. I really think that it's 12 guys, and it's just you're seeing something pretty special right now. I just looked on the stats. I think they're still close in the low or the mid 60s for yards against the run. It's insane.
Maz, hold on. Let's run that clip. If you're watching the stream, the clip on this interception again. Campbell, and it's the second one that you see, right? Because over the top we got Fields there, and Bo, he's trying to throw that dart into, you coach football, Schultz, right? Into that, I call it the swimming pool to the kids.
Yep.
Like in between, put it into the pool. But A, it was windy. B, things aren't going that well for you. And then you got the athleticism of Campbell. Like, look how he can get, and then he gets up for it, right? Like that is a hard throw anytime if you're in a controlled, environment. He's trying to do it in Sasky. Things are down. And that it's the mental game too. Like you got, let's be honest, the Riders are in the kitchen of everybody. Yeah.
Let's not forget, desperation is a stinky cologne, and you could smell the desperation on those plays. He's just trying to get something, anything to work. And look, he forces it into a window it doesn't belong, and we come up with the ball.
Despite them being the poster boys for desperation cologne, Curtis, could you make up a quick graphic of that? Maybe Bo Levi. Let's do black and white. I want an underwear like a Calvin Klein shot. I want kind of that brownish tinge. Let's do that. But so although it was 29-9 and the Riders have won some dominant games, is Hamilton still the best team in the East, in your opinion? They were missing their top three defenders on Saturday. A lot of Rider fans, like Stavros Kazantonis, if he's playing safety back there, he patrols the middle like none other in the CFL these days. He would have been a factor. And so is Hamilton, they didn't win, but are they still the best in the East?
I got to say, like, they are the best in the East, but what does that say?
I know.
They're battling. They're trying to get their product aligned with what their coaches want to get out of it. But, again, they're 5-5 or whatever they're at. And
6-4. They
are the best. But what scares me is the West is like, we're far and away, the leaders in wins. But I mean, any one of these teams, it's going to be a tough night out when it gets down to playoff time.
We should separate. Just kidding. But Montreal's really banged up, though, too. Let's keep in mind.
Yeah.
And now they're losing another quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of the East, to be honest. Hamilton, Montreal, and then who's going to shift over there? But to Schultz's point, it's like, then BC, they're starting to throw it around the park.
BC's in the wild card right now. BC's in second place in the East. And BC, that offense is starting to come around. And then Farhan, who we had on from TSN on Friday, said, if the D-line ever starts doing something and Matthew Betts starts earning his paycheck, I'm saying that Farhan didn't. But then on Saturday, Betts was in the game. Betts got a couple of sacks. He was in there. Their D-line came to play, and BC starts to look like – and they're learning how to play. And keep in mind, Buck Pierce is a brand new coach with a new system. They're 10 games in. They're getting to pick it up. Schultz, how easy is it to learn a brand new head coaching system as a player? It takes a while, doesn't it?
It's difficult. There's no way around it. Like, you got to have some exceptional players and people around you to make that work. And it's tough slugging. And think back to the Riders and how many, in the last few years, and we've had our struggles, but we've had those areas of upswings. And then then the losses come, like, it's tough. Like, it is tough to break those. And it's a cultural thing, meaning the teams and the coaching and the players, it all has to come together. And it's come together for the Riders right now. It's too early to say this. I mean, for looking at the playoffs, but I mean, that's where it makes you think about, maybe it should be the top 6 teams, and maybe it should, because you look at one conference that is struggling and is weak. Where do you go with that?
It should be one conference top 6, one conference of 9, top 6 make the playoffs. Because why wouldn't I? If I'm the new commissioner of the CFL, I was thinking about this yesterday when I was unloading the dishwasher. Not because the kids didn't listen to me after I asked them 3 times, yes, but I was like, why wouldn't you, if I'm the commissioner of the CFL, and let's take the Riders and Bombers as an example, with that the fan bases, why wouldn't you want to have a scenario where they could play in the Grey Cup? That isn't some sort of like backdoor East End that you could get the interest and the eyeballs along with the good football teams. Like, why wouldn't you want that if you're running this league?
100%. And you know, again, dare to dream, but let's focus on what's important now, and that is Calgary. And nobody likes Calgary for sure. They have always have that the reek of just front running and arrogance and all the good things that go into a battle. So I can't wait to go out there and smash those hams. And I'll be watching on my 70-inch.
You're big into smells today. That's what we're getting from this. Rider legend Scott Schultz joining us here. You're in the insurance business, right?
Correct.
With Lakeview Insurance, you can stop it. He's always up for a coffee. You're in the insurance business. Do we need to look at some insurance when it comes to the kicking game?
Ooh. We better call Lloyd's of London and get a contract out because, listen, I like Lowther. I like Lowther.
Yeah.
He knows he's not where he needs to be right now. The coaches have said it. I don't think they're trying to dwell on it because, I mean, I've been with guys like Paul McCallum, Luca Conji. They're weird guys. You know, you don't want to fluster them. You know, if there's an opportunity for him to navigate through this and get stronger, he will. That's all that he wants. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you know everything else is in lockstep, and then you know something that should be automatic, 90% plus. You know, we're down in the 70s. But I mean, we just take it game by game, and like you said, you just don't want it to creep up in a spot where you really need it.
Yeah, because the way we've been able to win games, we haven't needed our kicking game per se. But Scott, you know, you can't go through a full 18 games and into the playoffs without having to rely on your kicker. Because if it comes down to a 52-yarder, us and the Bombers, I'm sorry, but Castillo is if you had to place money, like you're going to place a bet, you know who you'd go with. And it would be no different. I mean, think of it. Maybe we have a little sympathy because it is a kicker. My big fear, and this is on a personal level because people are nuts these days, Scott, you know this. Look what happened to McCallum before social media. Could you imagine now if something bad happened in the age of social media? Nobody deserves that. But people are crazy, and they will go to no lengths to try and get their click, their like, or their point across. Like, oh, man. Oof.
You know, the one thing I will say is don't sleep on him because he's bounced back before. He sits among the most accurate kickers in our franchise's history. If you look at his history, it's just a matter of, you know, guys go through rough spots. I mean, you know, he seems to figure it out when it matters. And I don't know. I'm going to give it another 1 or 2 weeks before I get excited.
I would love to have him. Hey, Brett, the door's open. Come on here. Let's have not an interview at a field with a mic, and let's have just a sit down, you know, chat. What's going through your head? How are you dealing? Yeah. It's got to be so difficult. And the bounce back thing, and that's what to be honest, I'm really on the fence with this one. And I know people really don't care, like, who am I? But I'm like, well, they got to bring in somebody, and but maybe they just let them work it through, because then there's the other thing too. It's like, you got to kind of know the stadiums you're going into in the CFL. Like, somebody called in, I love it though. Speaking of people are nuts, somebody called in the post-game show and said they should bring in Tucker from the Baltimore Ravens, who's not playing.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I love that craziness. We need more of that. Call into this show right now. But I'm like, I get it. We played the long game with him before where he bounces back. But then, you know, I leave the poker room after getting rinsed. I stop at the blackjack table, sometimes bounce back, but I don't want to do that all the time. I want to kind of play it safe.
Yeah, but I also come from that world when it was like the only thing that kids understand is when you mess with their cash, you know? And so, like I played almost 9 years in the CFL, and every year just terrified of who's gonna take your spot, who's pushing you, who are they bringing in? Oh shit, there's 3 cuts this week. They brought in 3 guys from the NFL. Like that was constant.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that to cause undue emotional and mental stress on the guy.
That's pro sports. That's pro sports.
At some point, it's F or walk. Like it's time to get things going.
You gotta perform. Your cologne's got to perform. Got to sell.
Got to be pungent.
Here it is. If you're watching the
series, smell like pure testosterone.
Desperation.
It's a stinky cologne. Schultz, what? Can we just do this like more often, all the time? What are we plugging for insurance these days? Last time you were going to a parade.
I'll say this right now. All I'll say is Lakeview Insurance. Check us out, lakeviewinsurance.com. Contact one of our brokers, and we just want to wish a successful and bountiful harvest that is at our feet. And I know lots of farmers are going to be raring to get in the action here and start harvesting, and we just want everyone to be safe and healthy.
You got it. Thanks so much for doing this again. We'll catch up.
Awesome. Look forward to the next time, guys.
Jeez, always a pleasure talking with Rider legend Scott Schultz.
I think he could be one of the major sponsors for the Pilsner Cup. I mean, right there, just natural connection.
Because of the insurance or because of the quotes and you just need it on the marketing side?
We are going to need insurance. That's a gimme because who knows what could go wrong that day, and we need to be protected. But maybe we do need somebody on the big screen starting the game, shotgunning a pill to get things going. Because if you heard Luke on Friday, he wants the trophy can to have a hole in it like it's been shotgunned. Schultz could probably shotgun a pill.
Yeah,
it's probably not foreign territory. Not foreign territory.
Real good idea. Lakeview Insurance, come on as a partner of that. Okay, we got more to come to here. It's a Sports Cage. Hey, don't forget, I know we're going to hear this right away. It is the last hours of the Harvard Media Auction. I go on. It's a slippery slope. When I see my wife on the auction site on the phone, and I'm like, oh boy, what are we buying? There are some really nice stuff in there, or just small gift certificates. There's a garage door installed, and I need that. I'm in. You got kids? Didn't your garage door break a little while ago? Or is that something else in your house?
We couldn't get out of the house because we were trying to take the kids for Slurpees at 7-Eleven. The garage door broke. So it was a double catastrophe because the kids are upset and then can't get out of we're trapped in the garage.
HarvardMediaAuctions.com. A few hours left. Get on there and bid. Still more to come. It's the Sports Cage. Thanks to everyone who's watching on the YouTube channel and sportscage.com. Subscribe and like button there. And of course, if you can't, you can always get us on the apps or on 620 CKRM.
Introducing the next generation of the RCH Hydro Mower from Highline, now more compact with exceptional maneuverability. Equipped with a unique hydraulic drive system, the RCH mower offers minimal maintenance, longer blade life, and increased cutting efficiency. With piston-style motors and a low pull-point hitch, you'll experience better flotation and smoother performance. Ready to cut smarter? Available at Young's Equipment, your local Case IH and Highline dealer. Visit youngs.ca and experience the Highline RCH mower today. Highline, designed with purpose.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50/50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Hey, let's hit up Pump Jack's Cathedral.
Pump? You talking about my basketball shoes?
No, Pump Jack's Cathedral.
Who?
Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. They're open now. They've got a large selection of local draft and food and drink specials. Kids are allowed until 8. There's live entertainment every weekend.
Let's go. I'm pumped.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pub Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
Hee-haw! It's the Ram Rodeo at Crestview Chrysler. That's right, folks. We got Ram trucks coming out the wazoo. So we're wrangling prices down with discounts of up to 18,200 buckaroos. Can you believe it? Ram Bighorns going for only $65 and change plus tax, or get 0% financing over 72 months on most models. We also have an impressive selection of cars and SUVs. But the Ram Rodeo's on right now at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Regina.
When the rut kicks in, there's no room for second chances. Get locked, get loaded. That's where Cash Tactical comes in. Brands like Browning and Winchester firearms, award-winning Vortex optics, and a full selection of ammunition. Start with gear that's as tough as you are. Cash Tactical, Regina's hunting, fishing, and camping headquarters. 2176 7th Ave in the Warehouse District.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com and our YouTube channel. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Keep the text coming on the Prairie Land Rentals text line 936-6262. Maz, on the weekend, Regina Red Sox. Let's go. The Harry Hallis Memorial Trophy. We're going back out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. We're joined by playoff MVP Brady Bye, who is cruising on his way to Georgia. Regina loaded up straight to Georgia, Brady. How long is that drive?
It's a good 31-hour track. I got quite the journey, but it's all good. It's fun.
Got a pillow behind you, I see.
Yeah.
Hey, I got my whole life with me right now.
Hey, Brady, last week when we had Gary Brotzel on, we brought up the fact that a few weeks before that, he casually said in an interview, at around mid-July, we lost most of our roster and had to rebuild that. As a player who went through that, what were you thinking when you lost all that, guys, and then you've got a whole bunch of new teammates, and then to achieve the WCBL championship on the weekend, that's just a crazy story.
Yeah, we lost some big tools, some great locker room guys too, so that was tough, and we weren't really sure what to expect with some new guys coming in, but the new guys we had came in, they were awesome. They meshed super well with us. Just a great group of guys. That we lost some great guys just to gain a few more great guys, so it took us a little while to click. We had all the tools all year long, and then that last week of the season there going to playoffs, we really figured it out.
It's easy to say that now. But was there a moment, was there a time later in the season, early in the playoffs, where you're like, hey, I got my pillows already loaded up, the trucks, it's just not our year. Was there maybe a little bit of doubt at some point?
Yeah, 100%. I was obviously I had all my faith in the guys. I knew we had the tools and the talent to be able to do that, but up until that last week, I was kind of thinking that we didn't have a whole lot of opportunity to do it, just the way we were playing. But I knew it in that last week there when we kind of proved to ourselves that we can beat anyone. I knew that we'd be in good shape.
You beat a really good Saskatoon Berries team. I mean, they ran away with the regular season. And one of the things about the Berries, they could score runs, but sometimes defense wasn't necessarily their forte. Before the Saskatoon series, what was the message from the coach, or what did you as players tell yourselves about, okay, regular season out the window, what do we got to do to win?
Yeah, our big thing was everyone just kind of worrying about their own job. If everyone can kind of take care of their own job and do their own thing the proper way, we knew that we'd be in good shape. A big thing kind of coming into the playoffs, especially that Barry series, is we really wanted to honor Jesse Lubanicki, who unfortunately passed away right before the season. So we kind of knew that he was up in the sky watching down on us, taking care of us, and that kind of gave us just another sense of hope and some more motivation to be able to go and do that.
That's a really good point. That's tragic and unfortunate. There's no doubt about it. What makes Rye Pothakis so good at what he does? Obviously, it's experience. You talk to him. I when I talk to him, sometimes I think he's coming to give me a quote to, redo my deck or something. Maybe not a baseball guy. What makes him so good?
Yeah, he's always taking care of us. We call him Uncle Ra. He's sort of a dad to all of us to some extent. So he's always just making sure that we got everything we need. We're getting taken care of. So he wanted everyone to make sure before baseball that they're good, and then the baseball came next for him, and I think that's what makes him so special.
So what about strategic? Like, does he kind of, he's got all the experience. Does he make some strategic plays here and there that you guys maybe scratch your head about, but then they end up working?
Honestly, we freestyled the whole thing. We kind of just showed up every day with little to no game plan. We just kind of not relying on talent, but we knew that if we just showed up and played our best game, that we'd be in good shape.
Brady, what's more appealing, a 10.5-hour ride to Sylvan Lake or a 31-hour ride to Georgia? I'm going to take Georgia. I've been to Sylvan Lake. I don't get it. Maybe it's just me, but I don't get that. I'd much rather go to the Peach State where you're headed.
And I like them both. Coming home with that trophy is hard to beat. So this 30-hour drive isn't so fun without a trophy in here.
Hey, okay. And then closing, I know you got a long drive. Figured this out this afternoon. Your dad and I won a trophy together. He was an absolute weapon. ASHL A Division Warhawk run there. So you got to say hi to him for me.
I will for sure. Do you tape his ankles up for him too?
Yeah. I'll leave that one off the record. Hey, drive safe down there, man. What a run. Super exciting. Awesome for a kid from Regina as well. Appreciate you doing this on your drive.
Thank you guys very much.
There he is. Playoff MVP.
Thank you guys.
From our Regina Red Sox. It's still a little bit of a noodle scratcher there that they pulled this off.
Well, Colson and I were chatting, I think it was off the air on Friday, that if they go to Sylvan Lake, like, okay, you're down 1-0. The heartbreak would be is if you won game 2 but then lost game 3. Like, if it wasn't going to work out, do you just want it on that first night and then you come back home, but then they go and then they win? And then I remember, I'm like, wow, they did it. Then the best part about this is that's why you play the games, because they weren't supposed to be the team that won. The Berries were supposed to beat them. And then Sylvan had a better team. They were deeper. And it was said last week, they only had 2 starting pitchers, and everything was going to be by committee. And they were going to have to use everybody on the roster.
We freelanced it. You know what I mean?
we freestyled it.
Let's go into a quick sports ticker here before break.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. For all your hot water needs, call on Reliance Heath today.
Riders off today, 8-1. Things are beautiful in Riderland. They're in Calgary coming up this weekend. We'll have more on that as the weekend goes on. Blue Jays starting a series in Pittsburgh against the Pirates tonight. Blue Jays 5-up in the AL East. And there's NFL Monday Night Football. Hello. Let's see. That's what do we got tonight? We got the Cincinnati Bengals, Washington Commanders. Washington's the underdog if you want to play. Quick sports ticker in hour 1 for Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals, keeping you in hot and soft water. Call on Reliance. It is a Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com. Hour 2, we're going to have the Coaches Show with Josh Donelly on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Employee pricing has been extended on all new 2025 GMC and Chevy half-tons, 3/4 tons, and 1 tons at Watrous Mainline GM. No markups, no gimmicks, just hot summer savings. Over $10,000 off on new 2025 3/4 tons on ground. In need of a sporty SUV? Check out Watrous Mainline GM, your country's largest Buick Envision dealership. They've got the color and options you want. Watrous Mainline GM, your GM superstore since 1962, where we make deals happen.
Have you ever thought, I need more power for grain drying? For anything on your farm, Croft Electric is here to help. Let Croft upgrade your farm service capacity. Call now. Let us take this off your plate so you can focus on your farm and be ready when you need the power. Trust our 27 years of experience, here for all your electrical needs, from generators to permanently installed holiday lights. Find us through all socials and croftelectric.com. Croft Electric. Do it right. Do it once.
This summer, if you're thinking of a new building, think Olympic Buildings. They're engineered from top to bottom to be better than the rest. Strength, solid design, and impressive good looks are all standard on an Olympic farm building. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 5050 is presented by ISC.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
APAS is there when you can't be. As farmers and ranchers, you need to fight increasing costs and regulation. But how are you supposed to be everywhere at once? You're busy with harvest, so you don't have time for meetings with politicians, presentations to committees, and tracking legislation that will affect your farm. This is where APAS comes in. Your APAS representative, the APAS Board of Directors, and the Canadian Federation of Agriculture all work together to represent you. APAS is there when you can't be. Visit apas.ca and become a member today.
SEIU West members are
Medical Equipment Coordinator,
Combined Laboratory and X-ray Technologist,
Orderly, Biomedical Engineering Technologist,
File Clerk,
MRI Technologist,
Carpenter,
Pharmacy Technician, Cardiology Technologist,
Staff Scheduler,
Information Technology Analyst.
the backbone of your public health care system. Learn more at seius.ca.
From the towers to the tractors, country's greatest hits. 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the sasktoday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news. 2 adult men and 2 male youths are facing charges after a stabbing in Regina on Saturday. Police say a victim with multiple stab wounds arrived at Regina General Hospital at around 5:30 p.m. The investigation led officers to a home on Ottawa Street, where SWAT and patrol units surrounded the residence. 4 people were arrested, and weapons, including a machete, baton, and taser, were seized. All 4 appeared in provincial court this morning. Moose Jaw Police are renewing their call for help from the public after a hit-and-run involving a pedestrian earlier this month. The incident happened at around noon on August 2nd on the intersection of 1st Avenue Northeast and Oxford Street East. Investigators say the suspect fled eastbound in a tomato-red 4-door pickup truck. CCTV footage suggests a black car or SUV was nearby and may have witnessed the collision. Police are asking residents and business owners to review their security footage from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. that day. Anyone with information is urged to contact Moose Jaw Police or Crime Stoppers. A Fraser Institute report has become the latest tool for the opposition NDP in its criticism of the Sask Party's spending. Finance critic Trent Witherspoon said Premier Scott Moe is spending more per person than any Saskatchewan leader in 6 decades. He warned debt interest payments now cost the province more than $1 billion each year. The government responded, saying it continues to invest in health, education, and affordability while maintaining one of Canada's best credit ratings and strong growth. Sask Energy will conduct controlled natural gas flaring southeast of Grand Coulee tomorrow morning. There's a new time to note for this. The work runs from 10 a.m. to noon, weather permitting. People in the area may see a 40-foot flame from the flare stack. Sask Energy says the flaring is needed for pipeline maintenance and helps reduce emissions. The RM of Sherwood, Regina Fire Department, and the RCMP have all been notified. Air Canada says flights affecting 500,000 travelers have been cancelled as its flight attendants remain on the picket line. The airline is expecting to get planes in the air later today as the flight attendants have been ordered back to work. But QP National President Mark Hancock says flights won't resume in the very near future.
I can tell you that if Air Canada thinks that planes will be flying this afternoon, they're sorely mistaken. That won't be happening today.
The Canada Industrial Relations Board has declared the work stoppage unlawful, but the union says it has challenged the order in federal court. And European leaders are pressing for security guarantees for Ukraine against Russia as they meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House today. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says it's in everyone's best interest to end the war.
We are here to work together with you on a just and lasting peace for Ukraine. Stop the killing. This is really our common interest. Stop the killing.
European leaders suggested forging a temporary ceasefire is not off the table. And that is your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
This is Detective Vision, Future Vision. Word on the street is kids are heading back to school, and parents are looking for deals sharper than a fedora's brim. At Future Vision, we've got eyewear so slick, even crime bosses are asking for specs.
Detective, the prices, they're too low.
Relax, sweetheart. It's the 2-for-1 sale. Get 2 pairs of glasses for the price of 1. So good, even the teacher won't see it coming.
Future Vision, proud recipient of the 2024 Consumer's Choice Award.
That's right. No funny business.
So long, summer. But hello, savings! The massive 3-day So Long Summer Sale starts Friday at Sherwood Co-op Home Center. Save 15% off all regular priced items in store, including lumber. Save $200 off a Blackstone Omnivore griddle, now just $499.97. 1x6x6 spruce fence boards, regular $543, now just $439. Plus, with every purchase, enter to win a Milwaukee M18 fuel push mower. Don't miss Sherwood Co-op Home Center's So Long Summer Sale. 615 Winnipeg Street North. Limited quantities, no rain checks.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks. 1865 McCarra Street. Weather tonight mainly clear and a low down to 15. Tomorrow mostly sunny, much warmer. We're looking at a high of 33. Tomorrow night, low down to 18. Maybe a passing shower in the area. Wednesday, partly to mostly sunny. High of 30. Barely any wind, 10 to 20. Thursday, we're looking at partly mostly sunny skies and a high of 23. And then Friday, partly sunny, high of 20.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
For all your grain brokerage needs, call Johnston's Grain. They're hyper-focused on finding growers the best price in the market. Johnston's will deliver the best bids in Western Canada on special crops, milling oats, malt barley, feed grains, damaged grains, and much more. When you think about marketing, think Johnston's. Their expertise helps farmers secure the highest prices while avoiding risky buyers. They'll help you structure your contracts in a way that is good for your farm. Call 844-324-7778.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, 35 years of experience, moving water from a dugout or well without electricity. Visit kellensolar.com to find out more about your livestock operation. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the program on this Monday. You're making time, thanks. Whether you're listening through the app, 620 CKRM, or maybe you're watching through sportscage.com, the YouTube channel. You see Maz is with me right there. Curtis is in the pocket in the back. We got the Coaches Show coming up here in moments with Josh Donelly, Maz, from Saskatchewan Roughriders, the 8-1 Saskatchewan Roughriders. Also, Regina Thunder moved to 2-0 this weekend. Hilltops won up in Saskatoon after a surprising football. It's that time of the year. We also got high school football around the corner. We're going to be doing the Friday Night Lights thing again here on the Cage.
And the Rams got an exhibition game, I believe, in Winnipeg on Thursday night against the Manitoba Bisons because they'll get going the week after. It's all happening. It's happening everywhere. Sports. Monday Night Football tonight. Did you see last night? The Chicago Bears were treating that like that was their Super Bowl, beating the Buffalo Bills in Game 2 of the preseason. That, Bears fans, is as good as it's going to get this year. I'm sorry, new coach, Caleb Williams. It's not going to matter.
It's a lot like, what was it, Moxie from the Tiger Cats? Celebrating a little bit too early on Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's like, might want to get off the bench, sit down, because then you got stomped at the end of the game. I watched a bit of that Chicago game, and I was like, nah, I'm out. But tonight, yeah, a little Monday night. Will they unveil? Will they do the Carrie Underwood stuff, or is that Sunday night? Does she do Monday night or Sunday night? Carrie Underwood. That's Sunday night?
Carrie Underwood is Sunday Night Football, and Monday Night Football. Hasn't Monday Night Football the past couple of years been Chris Stapleton singing "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins?
Yes, there you go.
Yes.
And isn't Snoop Dogg involved?
Pull.
Snoop Dogg's involved? Isn't it a collab?
If he is, that I didn't realize that. I just knew "In the Air Tonight" and Chris Stapleton.
I could be really. I killed a lot of brain cells last week, so maybe I could be off here. But let's get going here with the Riders Coaches Show.
It's time for the Sportscage Riders Coaches Show for the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation. Get your 50-50 tickets now for all Rider home and away games. Riders5050.ca and Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
There he is. He's back on. Young Josh Donelly with the hat on, man. You look even younger. Like, do you ever walk around the halls there and they're like, oh, I think some kid from one of the field trips is missing the group.
All the time, yeah. Getting mistaken for people's kids and stuff. And yeah, I know it happens all the time. More than you think.
Yeah, he's one of Trevor Harris's kids. I saw the video on the weekend where Trevor Harris's kid was being security outside the stadium. And I thought, yeah, he's doing a better job than the two dudes that didn't let me in last year because I had a backpack. And I'm like, luckily, the radio station logo, Josh, was on like the Jumbotron or the big screen. I'm like, I work there. For those guys, you have to let me in. We have work to do. So
it's Monday, so you guys usually have your team debrief, and you guys, the coaches or players are off or getting treatments and that, but you guys are in grinding away already. When you watch the tape, when you go through things, what happened against Hamilton offensively? What are you seeing, Josh? What do you guys like?
Well, I think there's lots of good, and but Mace, he always preaches, and he does a really good job of this. Is there's always things to work on and improve, and even with what we would consider a successful outing, I think there's always little details and different things that you can clean up. So we were really happy with the effort and the physicality that the guys played with. But there's always, like I said, between Mueller and Mace and the rest of the coaching staff, we're finding ways to continue to improve and. Realizing that we still have a long way to go to get where we want to get to.
All right, who's going to take credit? Is it you? Is it Mueller? Is it somebody else? How is Dante Myers so open for his 8th 30th yard big play catch of the season? No one's ever around him.
That's definitely Mueller, and I mean Dante. He's a special player. He's got a burst that not a lot of guys have, and we're just continue to try to put him in different positions to get open and use his talents, kind of how as he is there, and taking advantage of maybe the soft spots in the defenses and continuing to just give him a chance when he has those one-on-ones or those different opportunities for big plays.
How much of things are scripted when at start of a game offensively? When you're coming from U Sport too, right? And then how does it differ U Sport to the Pro League?
I think it more so varies between coordinator or play caller. I think there's no one right way to do it, and there's no one set way to do it. I think you'd be naive to say that coaches don't go into a game without having a couple plays. We want to get to early, or we want to get in these situations, but it all really depends on what the game plan is, what the situation is. Are you getting the ball first? Or are you getting the ball second? Where are you getting it on the field? What's the wind like? That was a big factor in the last game, and that changed play calling, drastically, because going into the wind versus going with the wind, even decision making, like, kicking field goals and stuff like that, has a lot to do with it. So I know my process was, as a play caller last year with the Rams, was different than Mueller's is this year, but mine was also different than McConkey's was, when he was a play caller with the Rams. So I don't know if it's as league dependent. I mean, I'm sure there is variables, within the leagues, but I think the big one is it's really just unique to each individual play caller.
Now, Josh, one of the things that you've had to contend with all year is a rotating cast of players in and out of the lineup, but the playbook doesn't change. Is the expectation is, if that's you and you are that guy, that, all right, if your number's called, your number's called. Doesn't matter who you are. If you're good enough to be in on the play, you're good enough to be in on the action?
Absolutely. I think that's the expectation across the board. And I think we're really blessed that we have a group of professionals that are, for the team, and they see that, that's the case. And Mace preaches it every day that, it's very much a next man up mentality. And, we're ready and excited when, that next guy is coming in and he can play. He has this skill set, so we can utilize him here. And this next guy is very strong in this area, so we can utilize him here. So it's always a matter of, these are the players we've got, and we're going to make the best of it. And the players are always very professional in the sense that, now it's my turn and I have to, be ready for when my time is called and then make the most of that opportunity.
Back to the coaching philosophies and things that are maybe different. I've coached high school football and flag, right? So you'll see a matchup, and it's football in general. It happens in other sports too. You see a matchup and then you exploit it. And you say, okay, we're going to go to this because this guy turns his hips here or he does whatever. And then if it's a slow go or whatever, right? Does it happen more in pro, more in college, or even does it filter down, when you're coaching high school? Where does it happen more that you kind of look at a matchup early and then try to exploit it?
I think it happens everywhere. I will say, I think having been in university and in high school as well, I think the gap is bigger between the really good players and the maybe weaker players. Just because in the professional, they're all very good. There's talent everywhere. Everybody has the experience and the skill set. So it's harder to find those big gaps between one-on-one matchups. But it's definitely still a thing that all coaches look at, and I would say it happens on a weekly basis with every game.
Maybe it already happened today, or obviously in the next couple. When does the tape come out from the Calgary game from about a month ago to get ready for Saturday? Because the only blemish on the schedule is the Stamps, and it seemed that day they had an answer for what you were trying to do. So how much time over the next 72 hours will you guys be putting into the Calgary game plan?
I mean, it's definitely a factor. We're going to look at that and see kind of what went wrong and where we can improve from that game. But it's also a fine balance between that and, how Calgary has developed over the last couple of weeks, because they're not the same team they were in week 6, nor are we. So it's a matter of, making sure we have answers for all of the things that, they did and they may be, anything that we struggled with. But it's also understanding that they're not going to be the same team that they were in week 6. And, we have to be ready for what they've shown in the last couple of weeks as well.
What's the one thing you've been most impressed with Andrew Harris? Because I showed the shot on the TV, and he's sitting there with AJ and Trevor. He looks like the youngest one out of the 3. He's on the bench. A guy that you watched growing up too, maybe studied even back in the day a bit. What's been the most impressive having, the 38-year-old former running back on the Riders sideline?
I think just the way he sees the game, I spent a lot of time with Mueller, and I think we both see it very similarly as former quarterbacks. But talking to a guy who is, such a skilled and experienced former running back, he sees it differently, and it's something that I've really learned to appreciate, the nuances and the details that he has. And it's not just a matter of, run left or run right. There's so much more that goes into their mindset and how they're reading out the play and how they're looking to, attack each different run scheme and all this sort of stuff. So he's really, I've learned lots from him in the last couple of weeks, and it's something that I've learned to appreciate a lot.
What's one of the things that you've maybe are mildly surprised going from the college ranks into pro football with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, because we're always curious about the behind the scenes stuff, because when you're first doing it, like Barney talked, high school and flag, you're doing it for the love of the game and you want to give back. This is professional football now. You get paid to do this. There's got to be some things that you've gone, all right, this is okay.
Yeah, I think, working with Trevor Harris and the quarterback room as a whole has been, very eye-opening, and it's something that, it almost humbling in the sense that you really realize how little you know when you're around those guys that are, as experienced and as smart as him. And working with Mueller, I mean, just being able to be a fly on the wall in those conversations and, have them, oh yeah, we did this in 2015 and we did this in 2018. And it's just like, how did you guys even remember that? And they've seen so much and been exposed and experienced so much that's something that I've really, I don't know if surprise is the right word, but I've really been impressed by that. And it's been a humbling couple of weeks being with those guys and just realizing how much more I can learn.
You're so young. We've talked about that at the beginning, and you're learning and you're good. I'm sure at some point the end goal would be to be a head coach in the CFL or maybe even more, or whatever. For you, how much are you learning about the defensive side of the game when it comes to the CFL, watching your defense, which is, as they say, absolute ballin' right now? How much are you learning there?
Lots. Between being in our, offensive staff meetings and learning from Mueller and the other coaches, but even when I can, I try to jump into, other, whether it's walkthroughs or just, listening to Coach Mace and other coaches talk and trying to pick their brains as much as I can, because obviously they're doing some amazing things, and, watching their film every week and seeing how they, can get to the quarterback or make things look differently and, get to the ball. They always are somehow getting their hands on the ball. It's been really impressive, and I'm trying to learn as much as I can from those guys as well.
Going to Calgary on the road, Rider Nation travels well. There's going to be a lot of fans at McMahon Stadium. It should be a nice day for football. I was checking the forecast. I think it's going to be 24, 25, 5 o'clock kickoff. There may be a little pregame drinking going on or whatever, festivities. It's got to be nice when the team travels to know that Rider Nation has always got your back. There's usually a good chunk in the crowd to always giving a little bit of a little bit of a flavor of a home game, no matter where you've been so far.
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was my first time playing in Montreal, and to see the green out in Montreal all the way out there on a long trip, like every week there's been, looking out into the crowd, it's, there's green everywhere. So it's impressive. And I know, we appreciate it immensely, and it makes our lives easier as well. So, we love to see it.
Not that you didn't have long days when you were with the Rams and you guys were making the run last year, which was magical. It was awesome. But so far in the pros with the run, what's been the longest day for you, hours-wise?
I don't know, hours-wise. We had a short week a couple weeks ago. That was a long one. But, honestly, the days go by fast. You're always, on to the next thing, whether you're in meetings or on the practice field or whatever it is. And you're doing stuff that it's pretty enjoyable work. So to be around, a good group of coaches, and then, the players, like I mentioned earlier, they're great. And, I'm learning things all the time. So the days go by quick. They might be long on the clock, but they don't feel that long.
You ever walk down the hallway and go, hey, you guys weren't 8-1 till I got here? So
that's a common joke in my family that, the one variable that changed. No, definitely
pretty much.
Awesome, Josh.
That's
thanks.
All that we're going to clip that for social media, and that's all you're going to see for the next 48 hours is that clip right there. So stay off Instagram, okay?
Yeah. Right on, Josh. Thanks so much for doing this today, and continued success.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
Right on. That is offensive assistant Josh Donelly with our Saskatchewan Roughriders. It's got to be awesome, though, for him. Like, you kind of walk in, and there would be the massive nerves and intimidation and all that, and then getting confident with your own game, and then seeing how good the team's doing. It's like, okay, this could be a lot worse.
especially since you're not coming from a CFL program, even as a coach with maybe a year under their belt, you're coming from a different league, and it's college, it's not professional. And so that probably speaks volumes to the Riders and the organization and what JO and those guys have built to be like, yeah, Josh Donelly's smart. Let's get him in here. Well, do you have any CFL experience? No, but he's got a lot of football experience. And he gets it. So just let's get him in and get him rolling. Because there's a lot of guys, no, sorry, you don't have the pedigree. You didn't come through this way. No, we can't do it. Because you don't have, well, how are you supposed to get the experience if you can't get experience?
There's teams, right? And football, hockey, whatever, you like, oh, they gave that guy a chance. I remember when Mike Tomlin got hired in Pittsburgh, like how young he was in Pittsburgh, like, you know, you're right in the pressure cooker there to coach. And they gave him a shot, worked out. But I think and the amount what he is learning probably on a daily basis. Like he said, from the coaches is one thing, but then Trevor Harris, you know, down that AJ Ouellette, Andrew Harris, on and on and on.
Well, the other thing too, look at Stevens and Jake Mayer coming from Calgary, and Dave Dickinson was their teacher. And look how long Dickinson's been good in the CFL, 2 decades or longer, and he was taught by Huff. So just, yeah, you talk about the knowledge or being able to go situational football. Yeah, we saw this in there. We did this there. I love it. He could be one of Trevor Harris's kids. He'll be in the next social media video when they're filming.
He's not that old. He's a young-looking guy, but when he popped on screen with that hat, it's like he looks really young. You know, we're gonna get to some of these text messages here in a bit. We're gonna talk about Brett Lauder. We're gonna talk about the kicking game when we come back. But did you watch the Winnipeg game last week? And when Strevler was in, wardrobe malfunction? Is he allowed to wear like the belly shirt kind of college of the 80s look?
Yeah, he looked like the University of Miami Hurricanes about 1985 on some NFL game film. Yeah, I thought same thing with socks. I thought your socks have to be pulled up. You can't have bare shins.
Yeah.
That's a uniform violation. Strevy. Like said, to me, he gets a free after the fur coat, shirtless in -30 in Winnipeg. You'll always get the free pass from me. That doesn't bother me about Chris Strevler when he's in the game. It's his throwing motion that doesn't bother me as much as it does some fans on certain Saskatchewan Roughriders social media sites. But
I yell at my son all the time because he just throws with his like this part of your arm. And I'm like, use your torso, use everything for. But the reason why the Strevler thing, there was this guy, you'll love this. I'm filling up gas in Saskatoon on the way home yesterday. And this guy who, if you squint, looked like Strevler, a little bit older. He's talking to this guy that was getting on a motorcycle, and they're really, having a nice chat, the two fellas. Then I see Buddy get into his late 80s, early 90s Trans Am, T-roofs off.
Nice.
This is a true story. And I'm like, of course he's driving that. What a ride. Beautiful summer day. He doesn't pull out of the parking lot until I see him on his phone. He queues up Aussie Crazy Train and then jets out of the park. Like, Buddy's having a Sunday. He's having a Sunday. It's
living his best life.
Looked like Strevler. I was like, that guy looks like the backup quarterback or the starting quarterback some days of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We're going to come back with a little bit of Clutch Performer. We're going to get to some of your text messages on the Prairie Land Rentals text line and a whole lot more. It is a Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
Whether you're looking to upgrade your fleet or find the right piece of machinery, Yorkton Auction Center is the place to bid. From tractors and combines to semis and grain trucks, their online auctions connect serious buyers with serious equipment. Browse listings and place your bids now at yacauctions.com or call 306-782-5999. Experience the difference with Yorkton Auction Center.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Doug had questions, he talked to Brian Golly.
He's always there to answer your questions, and if he's not there, he gets back to you very shortly. You never know when you got a concern. When it comes to your portfolio, sometimes waiting is torture.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone.
I would definitely recommend Brian because he's done well for us.
Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions, 306-546-2533.
Looking for the best gear at the best price? Extreme Hockey and Sport just raised the bar. Now, with a price match guarantee, find the same product anywhere else, show the price, and they'll match it. The gear you need, the service you trust, and the price you want. Why settle for anything less? Get the local loyalty and the price match guarantee only at Extreme Hockey. Any budget, expert fit. Your local sit and fit hockey shop. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, Regina's hockey shop.
Employer pricing is back. Right now, you pay what I pay. You pay what we pay. It's amazing. And guess what? You don't have to do any work.
Right now, you pay what I pay.
They get our discount?
Yeah.
Can you believe it? We got over 100 F-150s. We got over 50 Super Duties. We got Escapes, Bronco Sports, over 300 new vehicles to choose from. We got it all. Don't miss the employee pricing at Capital Ford Lincoln.
Elevate your baling experience with the Heston by Massey Ferguson 1 Series Round Baler. With a dependable, long-lasting design for challenging conditions and high-speed baling, this machine features swing-away net loading and an optional hydraulic drop floor for easy obstruction clearing. Quality hay production starts today with Heston by Massey Ferguson. See the Massey Ferguson 1 Series Round Baler at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. For more information, visit nicksservice.com.
This summer, if you're thinking of a new building, think Olympic Buildings. They're engineered from top to bottom to be better than the rest. Strength, solid design, and impressive good looks are all standard on an Olympic farm building. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
Introducing the new Seco Formula 77 Stain and Sealer. One coat, zero mistakes, spectacular results. With 30% off until August 20th, it really is that easy. Seco. See color.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
This Clutch Performer, do we go anywhere else? Hey, we're always welcoming. If you got some minors, ball team that did, let us know, 936-6262. But I got to go with the Regina Red Sox. I tell you,
Yeah.
if I could have wagered on that to start the playoffs, I would like to know what the number would have been that they would walk away with the WCBL championship. We had Brady by on in hour one talking about it as he cruises to Georgia back to school. Look at Brotz if you're watching the stream. Talk about smiles
Gary Brotzel, Rye Pathakos, Clutch Performers, and everybody involved with the Regina Red Sox. And like last week, Barn, we were talking about the 1,700 fans that showed up against the Berries, the 2,000 fans that showed up for Sylvan Lake. The real MVPs. The fans packing Curry Field.
Yeah. They got
Get Gary his new ballpark. Get Gary his new ballpark.
Championship gear on sale now. Maybe they'll spare a guy a tarp. They had nice gear this year. And then don't forget, at Curry Field coming up this weekend, it's the Canadian National Men's Baseball Championship. These are a lot of guys that played pro. They're older, right? The WCBL, they're all younger. They're off to college. They're really good baseball. These are guys, there's a lot of pro experience coming into town, and Saski's lost the last 2 years to Quebec. So we need people at Curry Field the next 2 years. They brought us the beer. They got their own beer. Beer gardens will be buzzing. We're doing the show there Thursday and Friday. Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Kicking. The Riders kicking game. Text messages coming in. Where do you stand on it again? Is it time that we bring somebody in?
If you were a quarterback and you're throwing pick after pick after pick, would you not get pulled? If you're a DB giving up touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, if you're an offensive lineman giving up sack after sack after sack, what happens in football? Somebody comes in, replaces you. Because there is somebody else on the roster that is for next man up. Hasn't cost us yet. But to everybody that is on the side of don't touch it, it'll be fine if we go to Calgary on Saturday. Heaven forbid we lose. And lose because of a kicking situation. Will you change your opinion or your outlook? I'm saying, listen, if Boris Beatty is available, or whoever it is, bring him in, practice roster. You never know. Schultz said he played 9 years always looking over his shoulder who's coming in to take his job. St. Charleston said that. Darian has said that.
Okay,
Luke, I remember last year when Luke went on that rant, he had talked about you need competition in pro sports to push you to do your best.
We have, where's the first one here? It was Tim in Regina. Don't worry about Lawther. He's going to be fine. Amish Amos Jr., MD from PA. I don't know if that's Pennsylvania or Paradise, Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. Brett Lawther looked like me on the third tee trying to guide the ball between the woods on the left and the water on the right. Exactly. That is what it feels like. He should stop practicing football, go straight to the golf course to work out his psychological problem. Trying to navigate between, the trees in Waskesiu. It's Wes in Moose Jaw says he's going to be fine. Tim and Regina, don't worry about him. Reg, Yorkton, Lawther. I stand with Lawther. Mike and Imperial. Time to bring somebody else in. You mentioned Boris Beatty, because when I had Greg from Piffle's podcast on a couple of weeks ago, he rattled off, he said Beatty was, doing nothing right now. Eric Maximic. Now, this kid's young. Former Thunder kicker, went to the camp with the Tiger Cats, and Greg's tied into the Thunder pretty good. He said this kid's not doing anything right now. Went to camp, didn't make it, obviously. If he's in your backyard, if he's just hanging out right now, if he's walking the aisles at the East Superstore, bring him in. Let him kick some field goals. And then the other guy is the Dean Faithful, Greg mentioned.
Yeah,
he was a Brit. He was on the Elks a few years ago. So I don't know, because there's people calling into the show, the post-game show, and Dunk right away is like, who are you bringing in? Who are you bringing? Like we talked about that guy that was a little bit off his rocker. There's like, bring in Tucker from the Ravens. It's like, come on. But that's funny. And then Justin is like, who are you bringing in? And it's like, well, we all don't have 8 names at the top of our tongue of CFL kickers. At least I don't. I got 2 kids I'm trying to keep alive. But I know that there's got to be some guys out there that could come in.
Boris, if you brought in a guy off the street that's in Regina, like a college kid that's never played, that's never going to be a real possibility. A Dean Faithful or a Boris Beatty have played in the league, especially Beatty. Keep in mind, they may have the wrong passport. There is that. Okay, that's fine. Teams have had American kickers before, where they have had to use a roster spot for that. But that's the only way this gets taken legitimately. Hey, it's all well and good. If we don't need our kicker, it's like, there was a crazy stat the other day. We hadn't punted in like a game or something. We've only had a few punts in the past couple of games. I don't think you can go through 20 games and win the Grey Cup without needing your kicker at some point. Until it costs you a game, hey, it's all good. All I'm saying is, if it does it change your opinion? And I will say 75% of you, if you're being honest with yourself, yes, it will. Because you'll be the same guy calling the post-game show to then freak out. Because you're all like, it's good. Yeah, because we won 29-9. It's Calgary like on Saturday. Look what happens. If it's a tight game, we need our kicker.
It's like insurance. You technically don't need it, but when that wind gets up to 90 and the hail cloud starts hovering over your house, you're like, oh. I'm weird, and I said it earlier, and I hate being on the fence guy because I'm either one way or the other. And I could, but I don't. It was so windy. The other thing on Saturday in that bowl, if you've ever walked the field in a windy day at Mosaic Stadium, it's tricky. I think Dave said the one end zone. Some people are calling it the hardest end zone or hardest, goal post, end zone, whatever, to kick in the CFL. To your point, it hasn't been exposed.
Was 3 for 3.
It hasn't been exposed.
Mark Leggio was 3 for 3 for the Ticats. Yeah.
What about the trade for? What about the trade for Buddy from Toronto?
Liam Hiralahu.
High roller. What about that?
Well,
did that work?
Hey,
I think you
would hate to waste a great season like this in the worst times. Like, it's funny, those Mosaic uprights. Remember when Cody was the quarterback? Instead, Winnipeg goes on to write a pretty interesting story. Those uprights aren't necessarily forgiving with the doink and stuff. Yeah, it's not easy, but this is also, if you were from the outside looking in going, is there a glaring weakness on this Rider team right now? If you check the stats, you'd be like, okay, well, stats-wise, your kicker's not great. I would say the same thing. If Couch was punting and his punting was terrible, same thing. It's funny. Elaine just said on the YouTube chat, have you seen Beatty kick? He's not that good. But when he was on...
Steve on the Prairie Land Rentals text line from Regina, a 2 for 3 kicker, 66% kicker will bite you sooner or later.
It is the law of averages. Hey, it's great if we never need him, but I'm just saying that if, let's say in Calgary this weekend, it's not a blowout and we don't get to go and roll like we did Montreal by 20 points or Hamilton by 20 points, and it's tight and it's going to be clutch, that's when you need him.
I don't know if here we go. People are loving the trade idea. Schultz said in hour one, he's giving it another 2 weeks. I think I might be in that camp.
We have enough of a cushion now. If we lose some games, that's great. We're in a dogfight. And the other part of this, too, is that you got to realize Calgary has beat Winnipeg 3 times, so they own the series. If we lose to Calgary on the weekend, Calgary owns the season series against us. And if somehow, some way, they catch up and we're tied, they get home field advantage for the playoffs. We're lucky we've beaten BC twice because there's no chance there. The Eskimos... God love you, Cody. I don't know that you're making a roaring comeback, but crazier things have happened, and we still have to play them one more time. So that would potentially be a tie. Now, because we got to factor in season series, if the Riders keep running away with it, and if we can just be like, let's see, 3 more, tack on 3 more to 18. So that'd be 21-1 to win the Grey Cup. If it never comes into play, hey, great. Not an issue.
Somebody mentioned, too, I saw it pop up quickly, that just bring Beatty in for the pressure to force Lawther a bit. I don't know. What's Boris Beatty doing? Where's he from? Does anyone know? Like, maybe he's working a split shift at the Super One in Kennebunkport, Maine tomorrow, and he can't.
So I was reading, he is now, he got his Canadian citizenship, but the way that the CFL works, only in the CFL. However you come into the league, that's how they always see you. So he will never not be an American. Like, how crazy is that? The guy decides to become a Canadian, but the CFL can't help itself, get out of its own way. He's an American.
Does Mama call him Clay? I'm going to call him Clay. Coming to America reference there. Do you start Lawther versus Calgary on Saturday? It's a huge game. Who else are you going to use? Hey, Micah, can you kick? That'd be a story. Someone is also asking what's the injury status on Emilus and Kean Schaefer-Baker. Maybe we'll find out more tomorrow when they get back. I don't think they're rushing those guys back anytime soon. Exactly.
I would be, especially with Emilus, even if he was available, to be like, ride out your 6, and even then, let's wait a week. Like, if we're 12-2 or whatever our record is, slow roll that. Slow roll that. If the next man up are doing well and we get you back in there, yeah.
Boris Beatty is a French-Canadian professional football place kicker and punter. He's born in France.
Where's he from, though?
Global.
I know.
And I just got...
Yeah, but he'll always be that.
That's because Steve and Regina's on point. Stevie knows. And then Luke from Regina also says he's global. He's from France.
Okay, so global. So he's a global. But that means you're taking a Canadian off if you're putting him on.
Is that how it works?
Well, let's say if Lothar wasn't in the lineup, he is Canadian. So you're going to have to make that up somewhere.
Yeah. What do you got, Curtis?
Yeah. You know what, boys? I thought it would have come up in conversation at one point or another, but at the end of the game, I thought you guys would have talked about Trevor Harris taking that massive hit. You know,
we need. How much time do we have here before that hour? It was 2 weeks ago. I was in here last week, and I said, "Whoa, Mace Mueller, get him out of there." Here's the hit.
Boom,
and he steps into it. He looks like the grade 9 kid that gets the last series of the game against the grade 12s.
So
that scared me.
It was 3 scores, and under Glenn Suter's rule, if you're up 3 scores, your quarterback comes out of the game. But they left him in. That's another one where we're tempting fate there.
Oh.
Someone who is the head coach of an 8-1 football team in Saskatchewan obviously knows way more than the 3 dudes on this screen or coming through these speakers right now.
Yeah.
But that was another one I'm like, uh-oh. Because I saw that, I'm like, he just got shot backwards.
Yeah.
That's probably not good. And then there was the dust up on the sideline. Harris wanted to stay in, and then he got pulled out.
Mace actually did comment on him getting pulled out, which was
let's hear from it.
Kind of funny.
This is exactly why we all love Trevor. I spoke about it earlier in the week, man. Super competitive. Specifically after taking a shot like that and completing it, getting up, his kind of moxie, he wants to go in there and finish that drive and put some points on the board. But as coaches, it's our job sometimes to stand in the way and just look at the totality of things. And I've got no problem with that. I don't think anybody has any problem with your starting quarterback being upset that he can't play football. If anything, that's exactly what you want. So no ill will, man. I love that guy to death, but just wanted to be smart.
Oh, man, I got the heebie-jeebies when I saw it because I remember I'm watching on TV and anyone else, I'm listening to Luke and Dave, and they say, and Harris hit, and then you kind of see it, but they follow the play. And I'm like, how bad was it? He stepped into that. Guy was full torque coming at him. Speaking of throwing, Maz, I played the prop on Bo Levi Mitchell under 320 yards passing. I thought I might as well have a balaclava on. I'm like, there is no way he's passing for over 320 yards against the Riders. So I hammered that bet. Probably should have put more than 1.5 units on it. Obviously, I won. Bo, 200 yards. Coach Mace talked about keeping Bo in check.
I think once Bo was able to feel that pressure, you try to see if he'll focus on what he's got to get done down the field, or is he's focusing on the rush, right? So, whether it was the 4 or 5 or 6, if necessary, those guys understood that as just disruption, right? We talk about all the time, Dunker. It might not be the sack, but can we disrupt the play? I thought the guys did a great job of that, and the DBs did a good job disguising coverages and executing coverages. And we were able to come away with a couple turnovers as well. But, ultimately, that was good enough for us to win this week. And next week we got Calgary.
It's loud in the background there. Sounds like he's at a kitchen of a bonanza.
One of the things I saw from Hamilton near the end of the game, because Coach Jordan Lennon was on with us last week for the coaches show, and he coached Kenny Lawler for 2 years in Edmonton and talked about just what a great guy he is and an outstanding teammate. There was a random play in garbage time with about 5 or 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And it was a play, it wasn't to him, it was to a receiver on his side of the field, came over, pulled his teammate up, gave him a little tap, all this and good, and he just kept going. I'm like, all right, these guys know that they're not winning, but they're not sulking. They're going to get over this, and that's the sign of a good team, and they're going to go. Because if Lynn hadn't sort of said that and tipped me off to be like, yeah, they're getting absolutely slaughtered here, and Lawler's like, no, like we're a team first, and we're going to go. So I was like, all right, they'll live to fight another day. They're still the best in the East. They knew it wasn't on. If Bo Levi doesn't get touched, it's a whole different story. And we've seen that. Anytime Bo Levi has looked human, no matter who they played, is when he gets sacked.
Yeah.
No pressure on Bo. He's got all day. He'll tear you to pieces.
It is a Sports Cage. We are streaming. Thanks to everyone who's there on the YouTube channel through sportscage.com and on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Our auction is closing as we speak. It's the final day for the Harvard Media Summer Auction. Make sure you get your last-minute bids in. Items will be all closed up tonight, so swoop in there at the last minute. HarvardMediaAuctions.com. Here's a couple examples of what you could be bidding on. Maybe you need a little getaway. We got a $250 one-night jacuzzi suite with breakfast from iHotel in Red Deer. So if you want a little getaway, a jacuzzi suite and your sweetheart. Maybe you want to do a little staycation. We get a one-night stay from the Hotel Saskatchewan Autograph Collection. You know, stay at a nice hotel, get away from the kids for a night. Those are just a couple examples of items up for bid. Like I was saying, these items are closing as we speak. Just a few hours left on each of these items. Hit us up, get your last-minute bids in, HarvardMediaAuctions.com.
Do you have a safety program or OHS committee? Call Campbell Safety. Harassment in the workplace? Call Campbell Safety. Don't know if you have a proper safety program? Call Campbell Safety. Once you have an injury, it's too late to have a safety program. Be proactive with Campbell Safety Consulting. They'll come out and customize your safety program and be that extra set of eyes you need. 35 years experience doing health and safety, and they have seen it all, and then some. Call them today and get a free consultation. Campbell Safety Consulting.
Have you ever thought, I need more power for grain drying? For anything on your farm, Croft Electric is here to help. Let Croft upgrade your farm service capacity. Call now. Let us take this off your plate so you can focus on your farm and be ready when you need the power. Trust our 27 years of experience, here for all your electrical needs, from generators to permanently installed holiday lights. Find us through all socials and croftelectric.com. Croft Electric. Do it right. Do it once.
APAS is there when you can't be. As farmers and ranchers, you need to fight increasing costs and regulation. But how are you supposed to be everywhere at once? You're busy with harvest, so you don't have time for meetings with politicians, presentations to committees, and tracking legislation that will affect your farm. This is where APAS comes in. Your APAS representative, the APAS Board of Directors, and the Canadian Federation of Agriculture all work together to represent you. APAS is there when you can't be. Visit apas.ca and become a member today.
SEIU West members are
phlebotomist, food service worker, security officer, plumber,
continuing care assistant,
porter, licensed practical nurse, medical device reprocessing worker, purchasing agent,
environmental services worker,
social services worker, cook, health information management practitioner, switchboard operator,
distribution worker.
The backbone of your public health care system. Learn more at seius.ca.
Come watch former pro and collegiate level players battle it out for the national championship. The Baseball Canada Men's National Championships are coming to Optimus Park in Curry Field. Get a full event pass or grab a day pass. Don't forget about the Twilight Games, all the baseball you can handle. August 20th opening ceremonies and Home Run Derby are completely free. Bring a glove, these bats don't miss. The Baseball Canada Men's National Championships are coming to Optimus Park in Curry Field. See you at the park.
If you have a generator, you know it's there for emergencies. But when was the last time it was serviced? Has it ever been serviced? Make sure your generator is ready when you need it most. At Shorty Generators, they service all generators, industrial, commercial, or residential. They know generators inside and out, so you don't have to. Their expert technicians ensure your equipment stays in top shape. Any generator, any size, anytime. Shorty can handle it. ShortyGenerators.ca.
Souls Harbor Rescue Mission is celebrating its 35th anniversary serving southern Saskatchewan. We'd like to extend a big thank you to all of you for helping provide real answers for real people. We've served over 3 million meals to those in need, over 200,000 hours of addictions programming have been provided, and over 150,000 nights of shelter have been given. Again, thank you. Donate now at shrmsk.com.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sport, Regina's locally owned one-stop hockey shop. Now with a price match guarantee. 1425 McIntyre Street.
Off day for the Rider players today. They'll be back at it tomorrow. We'll get some injury updates, I'm sure, as they get set for the Stamps. Looking ahead to Calgary, the Riders are a 1-point favorite some places right now, and they're obviously still the favorite to win the Grey Cup at plus 225. Major League Baseball tonight, Blue Jays in Pittsburgh, 5 up in the Red Sox heading into that series. NFL, Monday night preseason tonight. Bengals at Commanders. That tickles your fancy. Don't forget to sign up for the latest news from Riderville with the Sportscage Insider Report. Sign up today by clicking on Insider Report at Sportscage, and you'll have chances to win. Also, if you want to sportscage.com, the opinion poll today, who is the best quarterback in the Canadian Football League right now? I guarantee who's going to win that. It's a sports ticker at hour 2 for Extreme Hockey and Sport in Regina, where right now they have the price match guarantee. So if you're into shopping local, you find a better price anywhere, they'll match it. Extreme Hockey and Sport in Regina. Hour 3 is going to start with Darian Durant. You got any questions for doubles? Let us know on the Prairie Land Rentals text line 936-6262. It is The Cage, streaming at sportscage.com.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the Calgary Stampeders. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Dunk and Tegan Whitco's at 2. The pregame show's at 4. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 5. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by Prairie Ford Dealers, Claws of America, and Sask Energy. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
Get ready to rock with 2 nights of incredible Canadian music. Shake the Lake Regina, presented by Brand, is August 22nd and 23rd, featuring the Headstones. Turn up the volume for Default. Finger 11. And many more. Celebrate our nation's music in one epic weekend. Shake the Lake 2025. Get your tickets at connexusartcenter.ca. See you at the center.
You've heard of Flamin and what we do, but why work here? Here's Melissa, a member of our team for 7 years.
I love working at Flamin. It's just got a little bit of everything that I look for in a job. The people here are great, the employees, customers, suppliers. It's a great teamwork environment. It's just got a good work-life balance, good flexibility, which is important to me as well.
Our people are what make us great. You fit at Flamin. To learn more, visit flamin.com/careers.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Margaret had questions, she talked to Brian Golly.
He's very personable, professional, and keeps you confident in what he's doing.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone. Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions, 306-546-2533.
I would not hesitate to recommend him to friend, relative, or anybody else.
Louis Dreyfus Yorkton, expanding to meet the canola needs of tomorrow. Once again, canola markets have been tossed into uncertain territory, but know that LDC is here for the long haul. The nearby months are filling fast, so call Louis Dreyfus today and ask about our very competitive basis levels and lock your canola in before space is gone. Canola delivery Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. LDC Yorkton, a name you know, a name you can trust. 1-877-782-8882 or ldcyorkton.com.
Come watch former pro and collegiate level players battle it out for the national championship. The Baseball Canada Men's National Championships are coming to Optimus Park in Curry Field. Get a full event pass or grab a day pass. Don't forget about the Twilight Games. All the baseball you can handle. August 20th opening ceremonies and Home Run Derby are completely free. Bring a glove, these bats don't miss. The Baseball Canada Men's National Championships are coming to Optimus Park in Curry Field. See you at the park.
Yar, do you fancy yourself a bit of a price pirate? Get ready to pillage and plunder Tuesday treasures at Freeze Tallman. It's a treasure trove of clearance items on display at the bow or the front of the store. With new items announced on Tuesday, you'll never know the bounty you'll find. Check the website for updates or stop by the store in person. Tuesday treasures. No treasure maps needed. Visit freezetallman.com. Regina location only. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
Get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Ugh, what do I want for supper? There's a bag of baby carrots, a slice of cheese that looks haunted.
Step away from the sad cheese, Dave.
What, the fridge? Since when do you talk?
Since you've been standing here for 10 minutes whispering pizza or cereal like it's a hostage negotiation. I'll make this simple. Order Western Pizza. You are welcome.
Get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Country Corner, brought to you by Municipal Hail Insurance. Proudly serving farmers. MunicipalHail.ca.
Grab your friends and check out the Fall Mom Market, September 6th and 7th at the Viterra International Trade Center in Regina, featuring over 100 vendors, exclusively small local businesses. Check out themommarketco.com. Join the North Saskatchewan Business Association for its first ever Popcorn and Entrepreneurs event in Regina, September 10th at the AGT Lounge inside Mosaic Stadium. Networking, popcorn, and a documentary highlighting one of the province's most influential entrepreneurs, Paul Hill. Visit nsbasask.com. And Danceland at Manitou Beach presents SCMA multi-award winner JJ Voss and a damn good band. Saturday, September 13th. There's a barbecue buffet or burger and beer and a bus tour departing from Regina. Tickets and information at danceland.ca.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. This is 620 CKRM Regina, the voice of Saskatchewan, a Harvard media station. Streaming everywhere at 620ckrm.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the sasktoday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound and Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with the new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. A stretch of hot weather is expected across most of southern Saskatchewan from tomorrow through Thursday, giving us a heat warning according to Environment Canada. Forecasters say daytime highs on Tuesday and Wednesday will reach 32 to 34 degrees, with humidex values between 38 and 40. Overnight lows will hover around 16 degrees before cooler weather moves in late Wednesday. Health officials urge residents to look for signs of heat illness, such as headache, dizziness, or nausea. They recommend drinking water often and checking on vulnerable people. 4 people, including 2 youths, have been charged following a stabbing in Regina. Police say the case began on Saturday when an adult male arrived at the Regina General Hospital with several stab wounds. Officers traced the incident to a house on Ottawa Street. SWAT and patrol units surrounded the home, arrested 4 suspects, and later seized weapons, including a machete, baton, taser, and ammunition. 2 adults and 2 youths appeared in Regina Provincial Court this morning. Reaction to China placing a nearly 76% tariff on Canadian canola seed was negative as expected. But as John Cairns of sasktoday.ca explains, it was not a surprise to some.
The food professor Sylvain Charlebois is among those wanting to see China tariffs on Canadian canola removed. He thinks it's no accident why China is targeting canola.
Canola is part of the Canadiana brand. If you go to China, they will associate the country with canola, Canada oil. It was developed in Canada, and it's been celebrated in Canada for many years. It's a high success story coming out of the prairies, and if you really want to attract some attention politically, you basically go after canola farmers. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Charlebois says what he wants to see is for the politicians to get back from vacation and start dealing with the canola tariffs. For more, read our story at sasktoday.ca. For SAS Today, I'm John Cairns.
Voters in a rural Alberta riding still have time to cast their ballots on a by-election that's getting an unusual amount of national attention. Conservative Damian Kurek vacated his seat in Battle River Crowfoot to give party leader Pierre Poilievre a chance to get back into Parliament. Poilievre lost his Ottawa area riding of Carleton in April's general election. The Tory leader is widely expected to win in the sprawling eastern riding by a large margin, even with more than 200 names on the ballots. And mystery horror Weapons dominates the box office once again. Here's reporter Chuck Sivertson on ticket sales.
She's to be locked up until she tells us what happened.
Weapons, which scared its way to the top of the box office in its debut, managed to stay numero uno in its second weekend with an additional $25 million, bringing its domestic total to $89 million. Number 2?
Oh, that's interesting.
Disney's Freakier Friday, which reunites Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan for a sequel to their 2003 box office hit, earned $14.5 million. Nobody 2 was third, and the Fantastic Four, First Steps, fourth.
Weapons benefited from strong audience reviews and social media trends to attract large crowds. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
This back-to-school season, don't be prehistoric.
Mom, my phone is basically a fossil.
Sweetie, your phone's older than a T-Rex.
Time to evolve at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
They have new phones, back-to-school deals, internet and max TV stream, and no extinct data plans.
In 2025, there's no excuse to roam with a Jurassic phone. Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. EchoSound.ca.
Let's get out on the water. Now is the best time of year to buy a boat or pontoon at Kevin's Marine. Cast a line in a Lund fishing boat. Take the family out on a Four Winds boat. Or head out on a pontoon by Harris or Crest, powered by Mercury Motors at the lowest prices of the year. There are manufacturer's rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing on a great selection of boats and pontoons. Plus Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. Enjoy your summer. Get out on the water. Stop by or shop online at kevinsmarine.com.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina, serious protection, killer looks. 1865 McCara Street. And Croft Electric, 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all your electrical needs. CroftElectric.com, and you can find them on all socials.
Mainly clear sky through the night and a light wind most of the time. Temperature dropping off to around 15. Through the day on Tuesday, a lot of sunshine. A warmer day, too. There is a heat warning in effect for Tuesday. As we climb into the low 30s, the dew points in the mid-teens will drive the Humanex into the upper 30s. Chance toward the end of the day for a shower or thunderstorm. The day itself should be dry. Into the evening, early nighttime, a few isolated showers and thunderstorms. We hold around 18 for the low, and then we clear out from those showers back to a partly to mostly sunny, still warm day on Wednesday, the high 30. Wednesday night, a few more showers are possible. Again, the daytime is likely dry. Behind those showers, a cold front slides through, and some cooler air comes in to end the week. Partly to mostly sunny on Thursday with a high of 23, and partly sunny on Friday, the high near 20. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Croft Electric. You've probably heard of us because we've been around for over 27 years. We do commercial and residential work? Yes. We do permanent holiday lighting? Yes. We do cabins? Yes. And farms? Yes and yes. We're an authorized Generac generator dealer. We are a full-service electrical company with the experience and the people to service all of your electrical needs. We are Croft Electric. We will be here when you need us. Do it right, do it once. Follow us on all social and call 306-586-1333 to book.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCara Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, 35 years of experience, moving water from a dugout or well without electricity. Visit kellensolar.com to find out more about your livestock operation. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Hour 3 of the show. Thanks for tuning in, watching, whatever you're doing. Curtis is pumped today, Maz, because we got a large number of likes on the YouTube channel. That's how he gets paid, right? That's how he gets his spiff. So if you're out there liking and subscribing, you gotta hit the like button. That's how Curtis and Colson get their scratch.
We had a long discussion last week about this. Get Taylor Swift on. Look what she did for the New Heights podcast. If you want the Sports Cage to explode on socials, somebody text her. Somebody text her. If we have we just emailed Taylor Swift at gmail.com? What have we come up with? When is she going to be on the show?
Hour 3, Darian Durant's going to be coming up in a bit. We're also going to recap some more. Keep the text messages coming. There's a lot of people commenting, obviously, on the kicking game in Saskatchewan. A lot of people are asking about injuries and what's the latest. Mario Alfred, Kean Schaefer-Baker. Hopefully find out more about that tomorrow when they're back on the field. Also in Hour 3, the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, the class of 2025 has been announced. This year's inductees are Janine Polishchuk, an athletics, Rob Bresciani for football, Dale Durkach for hockey, Merv Tran for figure skating, Steve Mazurik, football, and the 2013 Regina Thunder football team. They were a wagon. So yeah, we'll have more on that. We'll hear from that, some audio coming up. I really need to get a hold of Mr. Mazurik. I messaged his son, Nick, couple weeks ago saying, hey, I need to talk to your dad about something to do with the Rider music. He seems to be the guy. Need to get him in the chair here and chat about it.
Like in stadium music?
Nope. The Rider songs on Roughriders. Green is the color. What's the other one? Rider Pride. There it is. Curtis on cue. He knows a lot about it. Yeah, so
speaking of music, should we care more about this Chapel Roan, Saskatchewan thing, or is that it's a slow news day and we'll grab onto anything? Because that Pink Pony Club, now that I've actually listened to it, if you're a hockey team and that was your jam or that was your song that was going to help you get pumped to win the Stanley Cup, you deserve to lose, first of all. Oiler fans, check yourself at the door. It's one thing when it's Metallica and it's Burn It to the Ground and they're coming out, or Nickelback, or it's Metallica. Yeah, Nickelback, that's one thing. And I was like, this is terrible. This is your pump-up song as a hockey team? Here's me 4 months late with a hot take.
I don't know if it was a pump-up song or like we always had like victory songs to play after the game. Actually, the one weird one we had down in the States one year was We Danced Anyway, Dina Carter. Blared it in the dressing room after, just a bunch of dudes showering, having a cigar. I didn't get into this. What's the name? Roan?
Chapel Roan.
Chapel Roan. Very catchy. What's the one song, Curtis, that we... No, the one before when I was in Tuscaloosa last year for the Alabama-Georgia game, and they played that song. What was the first hit that she had, Curtis? And the whole stadium went bonkers. We like to think we're not behind here. We're a little bit behind here. And they just showed like the student section dancing to, what's the name of the song, Curtis?
Hot to Go.
Hot to Go. It's actually kind of catchy.
All right. Should we get to Darian? He probably has zero interest in us talking about Chapel Roan.
He might be a fan. You never know. Let's find out. We got questions, too, on the Prairie Land Rentals text line for Darian. So here we go with Darian.
It's time for Double Talk with Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Darian Durant. Double Talk is brought to you by Campbell Safety Consulting. At Campbell Safety Consulting, we work towards helping companies create a competitive edge by executing a proactive health and safety program.
Darian, yay or nay on Chapel Roan?
I have no idea who that is. Should I be
exactly? No, it's okay to be 40 and out of touch. It doesn't matter. It's okay.
Oh, I feel bad.
You can't know everything.
So what's give Darian the story. I don't even really know the story. Didn't she mentioned Saskatchewan in one of her songs? And of course, we're just going bonkers up here because someone's paying attention to us. Is that what the story is?
Pretty much. And then I think Scott Moe even said, like, yeah, we'd love to have you sometime. And she's probably like, yeah, talk to my agent at Live Nation if you can guarantee me, 7 figures for a night at the Brand Center. I'll come up. Right, Darian? Hey, it's show business. It's not show friends, right?
We got an open Wednesday at Casino Regina in February. What are you doing?
Bring me up. I'm ready.
Yeah, the actual line in the song is, I'm moving to Saskatchewan. So really hype. Not a lot of people want to move to Saskatchewan.
Sweet.
Oh, geez. We could go on and on and on about this, but let's get into football since we have Darian Durant here. 8-1, Darian. The start of the season, I don't think no one in this room or on the screen thought the Riders would be 8-1 realistically.
Not at all. I mean, and if you were to say that and say that Emulus would only play a handful of games, no Sean Bain, a beat up wide receiver core and some injuries up front, you would definitely put the Riders in the second half of the second part of the bottom of the West. So just kudos to this coaching staff, man. This team just looks like they'll do any and everything. They're together. There's no moment too big so far this season, and you can just tell that they're a together football team right now.
But there's one guy on the screen. It's not Barney, and it's definitely not me, that said the Riders this year need to run up the score and then let the defense sort it out. And Darian, you've called it to a T. The only thing we don't have is that receiver. That could be Dante Myers that takes the top off the defense. But you said run up the score early and let the defense sort it out. And once again, we see another game where once they got to Bo Levi, Hamilton had no answer, and we were able to at will do what we wanted.
Yeah, I think what hurt Hamilton was when they got the early turnover and they got their hands on the ball, from Trevor, which is not going to happen much. They didn't capitalize. They only got 2 field goals early. And then, once that gave Saskatchewan an opportunity to go down and score a touchdown and put some pressure on this Hamilton team, because Hamilton started off running the ball well. They went under center, did some things that were just non-traditional when it comes to offense. And, you thought that they found some weakness in the Rider defense, but the Rider defense just stood tall in the goal line areas and didn't allow Hamilton to score touchdowns. And that was a really, really huge part of that first half.
I asked Schultz this in hour one. How much of that success they had, though, early, Darian, was just the script that was implemented?
Yeah, I think so. You could even see with some of those blitzes that they were able to get home to Trevor with once they tried those later on. And Coach Mueller saw what they were trying to do. He was ready for it. So I think they were just too much on script. You draw up these plays before the game. You say that these things will work. And if you just keep going to them over and over and over, you can't do that. You just have to sprinkle them in here and there. And they didn't do a good job of that.
Maybe I'm crazy. I was surprised that when Hamilton did have this success early in the first 3-4 minutes of the game, Maz and I talked about this at the start, is they got down to the 2.5 yard line. They took the points. I get it. You always take the points when you can. You're in hostile territory against the best team in the league. Let's see what we're made of. Let's go. Was that respect to the Riders' defense as a whole, or was that just them sticking too much to the game plan and taking the points?
Yeah, I think that's just the nervousness of that coaching staff just saying, you know what, we have to take these points. We're down here. You may not get down here much. So sometimes when you only have 20 seconds to make a decision, you panic. And the way they were running the ball, you would think for sure that they, go for it down there. So, sometimes the coaches get in panic mode and get in situations where they don't really make the best decisions either. And I think Hamilton didn't make a good decision there.
Hamilton, once they got pressure, Hamilton looked out of sync like they did in weeks 1 and 2. They didn't look like the team that won 6 of 7 games. Keep in mind, I'm sure they'll rebound. They're going to correct those mistakes. Bo Levi. Darian, were you surprised when things were getting bad? Because Hamilton loves to not run the football. How much they still tried to run the football, even though they were down, for a team that doesn't seem to want to do that?
I think, Coach Milanovic knows that whenever you put yourself in a predictable passing situation, you've seen what this Rider D-line can do when they know that the offense is passing the ball and they can just pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. You've seen, 6 and 7 sack games from this defense. So Coach Milanovic was just trying to protect Bo Levi and making sure that he didn't just make him a sitting duck back there. So was I surprised? No, because you still have to have some sort of threat. But at the same time, when you're down, you have to find a way to push the ball downfield, and running the ball is not going to do that.
What did you see? Did you see anything offensively in this game that was different? I liked they all of a sudden throwing AJ out at wide receiver, right? Flanking him out. That's old Belichick used to do that in the Patriots. It's like, why the heck did they have LeGarrette Blount going out to play wide receiver? Did you see anything offensively?
Well, I think sometimes you have to throw different looks out there just to get some things on film, so defenses have to prepare for them. And if you get a defense that just is slacking and not really paying attention to formations, then you can take advantage of it. But I love to see the double move to Dante Myers. I love to see them taking advantage of the aggressive DBs. Like I said, we saw in the first half, Hamilton's DBs were just jumping everything, and they were just super aggressive. So, to counter that, you have to be ready for the double move. So good job by Coach Mueller and Trevor of drawing that up and being ready. And, this offense is just steady, man. I mean, A.J. Ouellette had 18 carries. Everyone's touching the ball. There's no one guy you can key in on. And then, like I said, with Emulus and Sean Bain out and Schaefer Baker as well, for this receiving core to just continue to produce at such a high level with some backups in, it just speaks well to the scouting and J.O. and how he's brought some good talent in.
All right, the obvious question, because it's funny, our champagne problems. We're 8-1, we're blowing out teams, but our kicker misses from 30-something on a crazy windy day, and what do you do? Is he staying? Is he going? Rider Nation, we got nothing else to focus on other than that. Where do you fall in on all this?
Look, he's such a huge part of the team. I mean, guys struggle sometimes. They have bad games. And I know that, when you're a kicker, you get your one play of fame, every couple of possessions, and then the spotlight's on you. And yes, he's missed some gimmies, I feel like, and he knows that there are some easy ones he's missed, but I still have 100% confidence in Brett. I think that he's a great guy. He's clutch. He's proven that he's clutch. And I wouldn't think about making a change until you get into a game that is where it's needed, and then something doesn't go his way. That's the only time I think you should. But right now, you just stick with him and you show him that you have the confidence in him.
We have a question on the Prairie Line Rentals text line. There's one from Steve and one from Ty asking Darian, his opinion on if the Riders can survive basically with Lawther. So you're sticking with them until, like Schultz said, 2 more weeks. You're riding until there's a pressure situation, and then maybe wouldn't that be a little late or hard to bring someone in there?
I don't think so, because you would just kill yourself if you got rid of them too early. You get in a Western final or something like that, game-winning field goal, and the kicker misses. Then you'll be wishing that you had him. And I guess that it'll go the other way if he misses the field goal in the West Finals as well. It's just such a tough spot. But, I mean, you have to go with a guy who's been in pressure situation. He understands the wind. He understands what it's like in the West, the key games. I just don't think you bring someone in and put him in such a pressure-packed situation when he's not used to it.
And it's the passport thing too, Maz, right?
Yeah, there is that. I mean, if you've got a Canadian kicker, ultimately, if you want to keep that spot Canadian, you got to replace him. Although other teams have done it. Look at Justin Medlock when he played with the Bombers. He was one of the last of a rare breed to be a punter and a place kicker, and he was great at both. Like, he was such a gem. But I would say Winnipeg and Montreal have the 2 best place kickers in the league, without a doubt, because they can hit from range. They're hitting. Darian, let's go back to some of those games last week. one of the things that I had mentioned on the show is that Winnipeg and BC, they're kind of learning how to win with adversity. Stuff isn't always going their way. Where the Riders have kind of, the games haven't been close. They haven't been tested at times. BC and Winnipeg have both had to struggle to win, including last week. You give up a 117-yard field goal that could put the wind out of your sails. You give up that interception, but yet you still come back and win. Even BC, they're finding a way. You know that you have to learn how to win, right? That's all part of it, because when times get tough, you're going to have to lean on those experiences, correct?
Yeah, and I think that's what this upcoming 3-game stretch is going to be about. It's going to be about adversity and tough times. You're not going to blow out these two teams next 3 games. There's going to be some tough situations. There's going to be some adverse situations that you haven't experienced as a group this season. And, but the beauty of it is the Riders have given themselves such a good cushion leading up into the stretch that, you can drop a game or two in this situation and still be sitting pretty. So that's what it's about during the summer and early in the season. It's about racking up as many wins as you can in order to position yourself and put yourself in a good position as you go into these Labor Day and after games, because they're all going to mean so much. The weather's going to change, and like I said, a lot of your easier games are out of the way. It's a lot of Western teams coming up. So this is going to be a tough stretch for the Riders.
Darian, do you think, after watching the film, Dave Dickinson, Vernon Adams, I'm assuming Calgary's game plan is going to be move him around the pocket, get him on the move. He's not going to be a sitting duck like Bo Levi on Saturday.
Yeah, not at all. You'll never see that from VA and Coach Dickinson. You saw that when Calgary came to Mosaic a few weeks ago. Him throwing a couple touchdowns, deep balls on the run. They're going to use his athletic ability. They're going to use his ability to break down the coverage with his legs, and that's part of VA's game. So 2 totally different style quarterbacks that they're going to see in back-to-back weeks, and it's going to call for a totally different game plan.
Chris Streveler, the follow-up weeks, possibly the way things are going. The only thing, though, with that, I forget how weird that game was. That was the smoke game where they had to play the next day. And I get that we were here, there were so many variables in that game that made it weird. Do you think Calgary throws like a total new game plan? Like they haven't seen, is it going to be screens? Like you said, they're going to make him move, maybe make him use his legs a little bit more. Or are they going to stay true and say, if we're as good as we think we are, let's beat him with what we do?
I think you'll see a little bit of both. I think for the most part, at a halfway point of the season, most teams are what they are, and they're going to throw in a wrinkle or two here and there to kind of mix things up. But I mean, defensively, especially, Calgary's going to be who they are with Barry Miles, and offensively, I think they're going to try to take advantage of some of the things that the Riders secondary may be soft in coverage with. So it's just going to be 2 battle of the bullies, and the biggest bully is going to come out on top.
Back in your playing days, did you love going to Calgary because you knew Rider Nation represented so well? Was it kind of like a home game just because of the craziness of the crowd?
I mean, you love that atmosphere for sure, but of course, you'd rather play them at Mosaic Stadium when when it's about 95% green. But the atmosphere in Calgary is just always amazing, especially now that these teams are fighting for first and second position in the West. There's a lot more at stake, so the fans are even going to be more revved up for this. Whenever you're sitting at the top of the conference and you're 2 good football teams, it's what makes this rivalry even more special.
Rodney in Regina on the Prairie Line Rentals text line for doubles, he says, as not many teams go through the entire season with 1 loss, what would you say to the team when they do go through a downturn this season? How did the 2013 Riders handle the slump you were in?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come at some point. I mean, look, the odds are against you as far as going through the season with 1 or 2 losses. It just doesn't happen much. But you just have to, like I said, you start the season off, you win as many games as you can, you put yourself in a good position because when Labor Day comes, a little bit after Labor Day, you're going to drop a game or two. And in our case, I think we dropped 5 in a row at some point after starting off the season hot. So, it's just, you just have to stay focused. You have to realize that these are teams you've beat before, and you can play well against these teams. But, this is just so much more at stake because I think the Riders are in the driver's seat for a Western Final game at Mosaic Stadium. So if they can get this game and put some separation in between themselves and Calgary, now you can afford to drop a game or two down the road, which we know is going to happen.
One more, Maz, here from the Prairie Line Rentals text line. Stephen Regina again says, what are the weak spots you see in the Calgary defense? How would you attack those?
I think you have to be able to run the ball. Most teams haven't had a lot of success against Calgary running the ball. And I think the first game against the Riders, Calgary loaded up that box and made it tough on A.J. Ouellette. Ouellette can definitely open up the passing game for Trevor, put him in second and medium, second and short situations. So, as the weather changes, it's going to get colder. It's going to be windy. You have to be able to run the ball. And the Riders have done a pretty good job so far. But here's the first big game of the season the second besides the first Calgary game. This is the second big game of the season. And let's see if they can run the ball to take some of that pressure off of Trevor.
The West Division won this week. You had Edmonton winning. You had BC winning. You had Winnipeg winning. And that's what I kind of expect. Right now, BC is in second place in the crossover because they've got like 5 wins. And it could end up that way. Teams are starting to get a little better. And I don't know if they're catching up to the Riders, but teams are starting to move along. They're starting to win. And as to your point, it is getting a little bit higher. One of the things I've liked is Dominic Rhymes and his game with the Stamps this year and how he's become sort of like the go-to guy for Vernon Adams, who you still think, although Trevor's having a great season, is Vernon Adams still your MOP choice if you had to choose and get a vote right now?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't penalize him for, and I know you're supposed to, but, I wouldn't penalize him for missing games. I think you can see, and that even makes my point stronger, that without him in the lineup, it's just a totally different team. And then when he's in the lineup, they've won every game except the monsoon, the rainy game against Ottawa at home. So I still think he's right there at the top. Now, Trevor's playing some great football. He's lighting up the stat sheet, and he's doing everything he needs to do for this team to win, no doubt about it. He'd definitely be in second for me. But I just think that what Vernon Adams has done in Calgary, to be their first-year quarterback and to have this team and to change the culture of this team like he has, that's just why I would give him the nod at the moment.
What's your take on the little dust-up on the sideline when Mace takes out Trevor Harris after he gets hit by a 18-wheeler?
That's just the competitiveness of Trevor, man. Doesn't want to come out the game. Even though it's late, all you're going to do is hand the ball off, But I just think he was just fired up. His competitiveness, when that adrenaline's pumping like that, he wants to stay in the game. But you could see him calm down pretty quickly after that. I think he realized that he took a big hit. And, you better be ready for Calgary. Anything can happen, late in the game. I think it was BC game last year. The game was out of hand, and he took a crazy hit and was banged up a little bit. So, look, these next 3 games, and especially next week, is very crucial. Trevor needs to be thankful that coach took him out the game because, anything can happen. Guys could roll up and fall at your legs. You just never know, man. Yeah. So you have to be smart.
Can we get you to say it again on tape? Because you said it last Monday when Charleston was on, and I used it throughout the week in different scenarios. In the West Division, records don't matter. Anybody can beat anybody, so stop looking at the records.
Yeah, do not look at the records. Let's have this conversation in about 3 weeks when we go Calgary, Winnipeg. Then we can, see how we stack up against. I still feel like Winnipeg's one of the teams to beat in the West. I mean, they've been to the past handful of Grey Cups, and you have to go on the road and you have to play them twice. So I just hold off. We put ourselves in a great position as far as, positioning for a home field advantage in the playoffs. But let's just wait until these next 3 weeks to really, really see where we are as a team.
All right, Doubles. Which one of your former teammates would say this line? Desperation is a stinky cologne.
Wow. I would have to go with John Chick or somebody like that.
It was Schultz. It was Schultze earlier. Yeah.
Well, you know how they were. That's how they were when they played. So, man, I could see it coming from either one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay. Have a good week. We'll chat with you next Monday.
Oh yeah.
Later,
by the way, I tuned in to catch the replay of the Baltimore-Dallas game from the weekend. Darian, I just want to let you know I didn't watch more than 30 seconds. I just kept flipping because I'm like, this is not good.
It's gonna be a long season in Dallas. Long season.
See you, Doubles.
All right, guys, later.
That is Double Talk with Darian Durant, brought to you by Campbell Safety Consulting. If you don't have a safety plan in your workplace, that's what they do. They are the professionals. You can look them up. Campbell Safety Consulting from here in Regina. Maz, the one thing we got to do in the last, I like keeping it sometimes to the last half hour because we still got quite a few people watching the stream on YouTube and then listening on the stream as well. Pick the score. SaskTel, pick the score right now. Last half hour. Here we go. What's the score? Riders Stamps Saturday in Calgary. You're going to that game, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to make the roadie.
Are you do you tailgate guy?
People are very inviting. I've found if you wander through, you could honestly walk up to anybody, even if you got Rider stuff on, and just be like, "Hey," you will always be, "Hey, do you want a drink? Would you like something to eat?" It's a good atmosphere on both sides of the stadium. On one side, so if you've been to McMahon, there's like the side where Crowchild Trail is facing Dairy Queen. There's not a lot of protection from the wind up there. It can be a little crazy with the elements, and on the back side, it's more treed in where there's like the track, I guess, and stuff. And the baseball, I think they tore down the baseball fields, but it's just a nice atmosphere. And on a Saturday afternoon, it should be good. And it's funny, like Gov, the guy who started or created riderfans.com, like he's got a giant crew of people. My old roommate, Craig, like there's a ton of people going.
Yeah.
Good roadie.
There you go. Dairy Queen, box of Buster Bars as a peace offering, and then just sit down and I'm sure someone will give you, a bunch of drinks as you go along. So right now, 936-6262. What's the score Saturday? SaskTel, pick the score. We're going to give away 2 tickets today to the Labor Day game. You got to get your scores in, and then the closest one, too, has a chance to win a $200 SaskTel gift card. We'll take a break. We come back. We'll do the ticker. We'll do a bunch of other things, and also hear from the inductees in the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. It is a Sportscage on 620 CKRM.
Take a trip down memory lane. Weekdays at 1 o'clock with Colin Lovequist. Number Ones at 1. A full hour of country's greatest hits and the stories behind them. We'll take a look back at musical milestones, celebrate some country music birthdays, and a whole lot more. It's all brought to you by McBids and North Home Windows in Foam Lake. Number Ones at 1 with Colin Lovequist on the Voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
The Health Sciences Association of Saskatchewan is a union representing over 4,000 specialized healthcare professionals who work in a variety of professions, including nutritionists, occupational therapists, audiologists, and respiratory therapists. We work in hospitals, emergency services, communities, and long-term care. The services that Health Sciences members offer are diverse, but our priorities are the same. If you need us, HSAS professionals can help.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Have you ever thought, I need more power for grain drying?
for anything on your farm, Croft Electric is here to help. Let Croft upgrade your farm service capacity. Call now. Let us take this off your plate so you can focus on your farm and be ready when you need the power. Trust our 27 years of experience, here for all your electrical needs, from generators to permanently installed holiday lights. Find us through all socials and croftelectric.com. Croft Electric. Do it right. Do it once.
Get ready to rock with 2 nights of incredible Canadian music. Shake the Lake Regina, presented by Brand, is August 22nd and 23rd, featuring the Headstones. Turn up the volume for Default. Finger 11. And many more. Celebrate our nation's music in one epic weekend. Shake the Lake 2025. Get your tickets at connexusartcenter.ca. See you at the center.
It's the start of a new year. Time to get financially fit. If you're looking to open an RRSP or a TFSA, maximize an existing account, or update your investment mix, Cooperators can provide the personalized advice and service you need. Want to start the new year on the right financial foot? Contact your local advisor to build a plan that works for you. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Get ready to kick some serious Barossa this harvest. You've put in the time, put in the work, put in all that effort to get here, and now it's go time. Barossa & Sons is with you. Find everything you need this harvest season with trusted used equipment, combines to headers, augers to grain carts. Visit online or stop by in person. We're in go mode with you. Everything's online at ebarassa.com. You're in it to bin it dealer.
Souls Harbor Rescue Mission is celebrating its 35th anniversary serving southern Saskatchewan. We'd like to extend a big thank you to all of you for helping provide real answers for real people. We've served over 3 million meals to those in need, over 200,000 hours of addictions programming have been provided, and over 150,000 nights of shelter have been given. Again, thank you. Donate now at shrmsk.com.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
Off day for the Riders. Coaches are in, though. We heard from Josh Donelly in Hour 2 on the Coaches Show. You can go back and listen to that. Riders back on the practice field tomorrow as they get set for Calgary, and they're going into that game right now on some of the lines. They're a 1-point favorite in Calgary, where they tailgate. Major League Baseball tonight, Blue Jays and Pittsburgh. That game is underway, and I just had the score up, and my computer crashed. It's 2-2 in the bottom of the third inning. That's how we do it here on live radio. Elsewhere, Monday Night Football tonight, Bengals Commanders, preseason ball. Sign up for the latest news from Riderville at the Sportscage or Insider Report. Sign up today by clicking on Insider Report at Sportscage. And you also have a chance to win tickets. That is your sports ticker in Hour 3 for Steelcraft Doors Regina. If you need a garage door, they have it because they got a 40,000 square foot facility in Regina to help you out. Regina Steelcraft Doors. Maz. It's fun to hear to talk to Darian, talk to Schultz, talk to these former players. There's no way the Riders are going on a 5-game losing streak this year. If the Riders go on a 5-game losing streak, I'll grow a mustache.
Can you grow a mustache? Is that a thing, or you just don't got a choice?
Look at me. I'd probably grow a mustache by Friday.
Okay, I'm just checking.
There's no way. And I hope they go into Calgary and just mop them. I think it was a weird game, the last one. The only thing.
Do you really think if it would have put? Yeah. Do you think if it would have been played the day before, like still feel bad for the fans that had to sit there. We care about we're the CFL. We care about the players, but we don't care about the fans that have been sitting there. We've been down that road. And do you think if the game would have been played the day before, there would have been a different result?
Well, I'm saying that in my head, but I don't know. That's all hypotheticals. We don't know. It
looked like hard. Whatever the game plan was, the Stamps had dialed up whatever They found the weaknesses in the Rider defense and they exploited it. And they were able to do it. Now, like the Hamilton game, and Schultz said, Hamilton exploited some things in the first quarter, but they were able to, with about 5 minutes left in the first quarter, to close the gaps or tighten things up to be like, okay, that play is not there anymore.
I'm going to have Jock Wilson on tomorrow, who does the pre- and post-game show for the Stamps. We'll chat with him. And the other thing I don't know super, tight and closely, where's the Stamp injury situation? Just like I don't know every place kicker that could be brought into Saskatchewan in the next couple months. I don't know how banged up are the Stamps.
If Damian Alford, their first-round draft pick wide receiver, is back, remember, he had a big game.
Oh.
But he's been out.
Kind of his coming out party.
6'7", 6'8". Yeah, it's kind of his coming out party. But that defense is going to be relentless, and I think it won't be. It'll be a different game than Hamilton. I don't think they're. To me, Dickinson, yes, if they've had some down years, he's still one of the better coaches in the league. He's in the upper echelon. Is he going to get out game plan? Probably not. Maybe the execution isn't there, but I don't think it'll be because of a bad game plan. And hey, if we keep rolling and we never, Corey Mace could win Coach of the Year. I would give it to him for 3 years. If he can figure out a way how we can go and win the Grey Cup and never need our kicker all year, I'll be like, you give that guy Coach of the Year for the next 3 years because he's figured out something. If you never got to rely on your kicker,
then just sign another Canadian running back. What do you got? Who is kicking? No one. Sam Emelis, maybe, if he comes back. Can't he kick? Didn't we find that out?
We don't. There's that high school. Remember that high school coach in the States didn't punt. Four downs. You just run. You don't kick.
Yep. Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50-50, the early bird prize this week. You got till Thursday at 5 p.m. if you're buying a 50-50 for the game on Saturday. It's a Blue Jays weekend in Toronto. Package for two includes flights to Toronto, hopefully not on Air Canada, 2 nights accommodations at a downtown hotel near Rogers Centre, 2 tickets to the Jays game, round-trip transfers from the airport to the hotel, or take $3,600 cash. Have you seen the prices of Blue Jay tickets this year? Not that I've ever gone to a game at the Rogers Centre. They're going through the roof. So riders5050.ca, just subscribe, and then you get it every week. You're in for every. I know a guy that won the $221,000. By the way, I know him.
Oh, speaking of flights and prices, I saw this on Twitter the other day, and I'm like, I gotta stop believing stuff on the internet. First blush, all right? Just because somebody posted doesn't mean it's real. If you're an Air Canada flight attendant, you're working Air Canada, just know we got some people behind you. There's some stuff there that's not right. Hopefully it gets corrected. But I don't necessarily know. Hey, how did you vote a few months ago? All right. Would you change it? Because there's some people. So I checked. There was a dad saying, listen, I'm trying to get my daughter home from Toronto back to Vancouver so she can start university basically today. But the other airline in Canada was charging $2,100 for a one-way ticket. And I'm like, all right, that's not cool. So today I went on, I'm like, I'm just going to check this for myself in case it comes up on the show. So I just plopped in from Wednesday to Sunday to fly Regina to the T-Dot. She's 1,700 bones. No, like that. Come on. It's bad enough. And you got people stranded. There's athletes that are out at the Canada Summer Games in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Parents, kids, being stranded anywhere is not awesome, not great, but they're trying. And it's funny, if you're traveling in Canada, there's only so many options. You have one other.
There's 2, or the Via, if you're lucky enough to be on the tracks where that goes through. Okay, so why the Air Canada thing? There would be people, maybe not so much out of Regina, because Regina doesn't do the Air Canada direct to Calgary anymore. It's WestJet only, because we fly out of the armpit of the world here. They said, we're going to take Vancouver and Toronto, WestJet, you can have Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Calgary. So, but there'd be people planning to go to the game that aren't driving, that are going to fly. I hope they don't get disrupted somehow, some way. Maybe I don't know if Saskatoon has a direct Calgary flight, because like we talked about, there's a boatload of people going to the game in Calgary. You're going.
Yeah.
You're not flying, though.
It's a nice trip. No, driving. But it's a Saturday. It's a 5 o'clock. The weather's going to be nice. I like going to games when the weather's nice. Nobody needs to play the Grey Cup in the third week in November. Move up the season, wrap the season by Halloween. Week before Halloween, Grey Cup gets handed out.
Yeah.
And watch what, the Grey Cup's always sold out. Is it? Is it?
Bring me back any Pete's Drive-In if I put in an order.
Speaking, what did you say? Taco Bell and who? Oasis and whatever overrated? Sorry, Pete's Drive-In. Oh, Pitbull overrated. I'm sorry, but for all the hype, and then people, you go there and you're like, meh.
I'm a fan. I like it. Like, they have their burgers in like tomato sauce. We got to take a break here. Keep the text. Look at the pick the score. Whoa. Actually, a lot of people picking the stamps here. Playing the odds. It's a sports. You can get them in 936-6262. It's a Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com.
This is the final day for the Harvard Media Summer Auction, and you can get your last-minute bids in right now, harvardmediaauctions.com. This auction, you could be buying yourself some nice items. How about a 2024 Venom Grizzly 125cc quad from Morrow's Marine and More in Lumsden? That one you're saving thousands on. Maybe you had one too many beverages over the summer, packed on a few pounds. All good. You could get a $700 one-year gym membership from Anytime Fitness. You're saving hundreds and hundreds on that one as well. Maybe you need a deep clean at your house. We get a $400 cleaning certificate from B & Boa's cleaning service here in Regina. Again, saving hundreds. Those are just a few examples of the items up for bid. All items are closing tonight. So make sure you get your last minute bids in. You're saving huge. HarvardMediaAuctions.com.
620 CKRM and Harvard Media believe in being accountable to you, the listener, which is why we participate in the Canadian Broadcast Standards Council. We are committed to upholding the highest standards of broadcast excellence and adhering to the codes and conduct administered by the CBSC. If you have a comment to make about our programming or a concern about something you heard on our station, contact us on our website, 620ckrm.com, or visit the CBSC's website, cbsc.ca.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 5050 is presented by ISC.
SaskPower is working to improve the power system in your area. In order to do their work safely, they need to shut the power off for customers in the town of Kenora and surrounding rurals east, southeast, and south of Kenora from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Tuesday, August 19th, weather permitting. Again, the power will be out for 3 hours on Tuesday, August 19th from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. for customers in the town of Kenora. For updates on this outage, visit saskpower.com/outages. SaskPower apologizes for the inconvenience and thanks you for your patience.
APAS is there when you can't be. As farmers and ranchers, you need to fight increasing costs and regulation. But how are you supposed to be everywhere at once? You're busy with harvest, so you don't have time for meetings with politicians, presentations to committees, and tracking legislation that will affect your farm. This is where APAS comes in. Your APAS representative, the APAS Board of Directors, and the Canadian Federation of Agriculture all work together to represent you. APAS is there when you can't be. Visit apas.ca and become a member today.
Louis Dreyfus Yorkton, expanding to meet the canola needs of tomorrow. Once again, canola markets have been tossed into uncertain territory, but know that LDC is here for the long haul. The nearby months are filling fast, so call Louis Dreyfus today and ask about our very competitive basis levels and lock your canola in before space is gone. Canola delivery Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. LDC Yorkton, a name you know, a name you can trust. 1-877-782-8882 or ldcyorkton.com.
A
Attention! The pre-owned summer sell down is on now at Capital GMC, your GM certified pre-owned destination. Demand is hot and we've got the best certified pre-owned Buicks, GMCs, and Cadillacs in town. Fully backed with a 150 plus point inspection and roadside assistance. Get big trade-in dollars for your current vehicle or just sell us your ride because we need inventory. Rates as low as 4.99% for up to 60 months on select certified pre-owned vehicles. Come to Capital GMC at Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina, where we go the extra mile and so do our vehicles.
When the rut kicks in, there's no room for second chances. Get locked, get loaded. That's where Cash Tactical comes in. Brands like Browning and Winchester firearms, award-winning Vortex optics, and a full selection of ammunition. Start with gear that's as tough as you are. Cash Tactical, Regina's hunting, fishing, and camping headquarters. 2176 7th Ave in the Warehouse District.
This summer, if you're thinking of a new building, think Olympic Buildings. They're engineered from top to bottom to be better than the rest. Strength, solid design, and impressive good looks are all standard on an Olympic farm building. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. Welcome back to Sportscage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
Regina Sports Hall of Fame class of 2025 announced today. I was actually surprised that Dale Durkach wasn't in, Mouse.
Yeah. I mean, he was terrorizing the Western Hockey League back in the early 80s. Like 83, 84, 85. I know.
Like,
could you imagine him in today's game?
Oh, oof. Unreal. This year's inductees are Janine Polishchuk, Rob Bresciani, Dale Durkach, like I mentioned, Mervyn Tran, and Steve Mazurek. Football. Oh, team.
No relation.
2013 Regina Thunder football team. But Steve Mazurek, beauty, obviously played for the Riders. Dave Thomas talked to him at the ceremony, and he talked about his upcoming induction into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame.
That's pretty darn special, especially when you see some of the folks in the crowd that are inductees into the hall. When you're sitting up in front with some of those great athletes, it's really humbling because parts of you think that stuff like this will never happen, and then when you're called into the nomination, and again you see some of the talent that's you're surrounding you with is pretty special.
And here the thing is, Maz, that he was originally nominated by Jim Hobson.
Well, that was really interesting because I was at his nomination and induction, and he basically told the world that I should be here. So I think he shamed the board into it and shamed a lot of people into writing nice letters about me. But he's such a gracious person, always in my life, as a friend and as a teammate and as a boss with the Roughriders. And for him to go public like that, and with his accolades, he's a pretty special guy. And he was, whether it was in the written word or spoken in a room or in a back room, alone or in a group, he was always one to share and to share his life and all the successes that he had.
We'll have more coming up at sportscage.com if you want to read the story up there. I'm confident I'll never be nominated for a Hall of Fame. You?
No. Well, nothing. Question for you, because this is how I think about this and I have anxiety.
Sure.
I have never gone and never will go to a high school reunion. There is not enough pharmaceuticals, liquor, whatever I just never ever.
I went to one, but it was like the 10 year. Then they did, they did it like a 20, and then they just did a 30, and I think like 4 people went, which the hardos that actually organize those things, good on you. That is a lot of work to track down people, but yeah, not really my cup of tea. I still hang out with some guys from the old school.
Sure.
That's all I need.
I don't know if there's a Hall of Fame, which one it is that I'd be getting into. Nothing that probably has a ceremony or you'd pay to have tickets for. Probably more of stuff you just wouldn't share publicly.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic, another show. Okay, again, good job last week. You did a heck of a job. You can go back and listen to anything that we did today. Scott Schultz in Hour 1. Coach's Show with Josh Donelly from the Riders, Hour 2. Darian Durant, Hour 3. Also, Brady by MVP on his way to Georgia. Joined us from his truck with his pillow in the background. That was in Hour 1. MVP of the Western Canadian Baseball League. And the Regina Red Sox hoist the trophy. Baseball this week. We're going to be out at the Baseball Canada Men's National Championship at Curry and Optimus. You won't be there because you're taking a couple days off and driving to Calgary. That's right. You got your tickets already?
Rider Nation. Oh, yeah, sitting somewhere in the garbagey end zone. But that's where all the Rider fans sit. That's the best place to be. There's benches. If there's seats in the middle, there's benches in the end zones, and they tarp off. And then they have a fake Pill Country that they built last year. It's like the Coors Light party deck. It's like a Pill Country, but 1/10 the size. Jay McNeil, the president of the Stamps, is going to be on the show Wednesday at 3 o'clock, and we're going to ask him about the Stampede Bowl and a bunch of other stuff.
Good stuff. Tomorrow I got little Jock Wilson coming up, Suits, Arash, whole lot more. It is the Sports Cage. Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for the streams. Curtis says thanks for all the likes there, too, at sportscage.com. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the Calgary Stampeders. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Dunk and Tegan Whitco's at 2. The pregame show's at 4. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 5. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by